Well, good. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all know what time it is. Let me go ahead and get the music down just a little bit for y'all, so that way you can hear me. Voice is a little rugged this morning. Cheering and trying to put up with some of the stuff we got going on, calling the Chicago Sky game and just some other things. There we go. Just brought that down a little bit so you guys can hear me. Let's bring this a little bit closer too. So, yeah, bring the mic down. All of that fits perfectly in tune. We got a show for y'all today. That's why I decided to come on early. What's going on, Vance? I see you in the building. My boy MSL. Of course, we got none other than Nicole Jordan in the building. As people come in, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button. Do not hesitate. It is super easy. It is free to do. Guys, you see the title, Atlanta Dream versus Indiana Fever. Just giving my recap on that. What went wrong for the Dream in this game? And I know that quite a few people have already given their soliloquy, but it is my turn. I'm going to put it this way. It's me and MSL turn. So as a matter of fact, MSL, I'm going to get you up here early. I'm going to get you up here. Then I'm going to leave you in the backstage just for a second. So that way I can get through the intro. And then I'll get you on stage. So let me go ahead and drop that for you. Today is just going to really be myself and MSL for the most part. Towards the end, if need be, I'll go ahead and drop the link again for just some panel discussion. But right now, today is just going to be myself, mostly MSL. We're going to kick this off. I know, Ray T, I know you like, that last pass by Weminyama, man, to Castle's back got me in an uproar. At best, we should have went overtime, but man, it was ours for the taking, and we just simply did not take advantage. I'm going to work on, like, I could have called the game last night, but I was trying to also catch up on the Wings game and also the Fire game that was going on. Both those games was going on at the same time. I wanted to kind of watch those games, get some notes, and possibly do a recap on those two games. But today, I want to recap the Dream because they do play a little bit later today. I was supposed to go on yesterday, but as you guys know, I was driving and I can't stream and drive at the same time. So y'all know how that goes. However, this is a perfect time to do it. We got time on our hands today. And also, once I'm done with this, please make sure you go to Full Court Trio because you're going to have Keisha and myself on a little bit later. Yeah, I'll see you backstage. MSL, give me 1 second. Let me finish with the intro and then we'll get you up here. But again, I want to say this. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, it's always good to come in and just talk hoops, women hoops, spit facts, do fact check on some other channels that like to clip you, like J Mac and some of these other people, when they only put just a little tidbit of what you said and not the full soliloquy of why it was said. Anybody know my brother Duval? Duval is from Atlanta, so if he want to say F the Dream, he can say F the Dream if he want to. It doesn't mean that he's no longer a fan, but I do want to get that out of the way real quick. But this is where we are with it. The Dream came into Indianapolis looking to continue their hot start. Of course, they were 5-2. However, the two games they lost, both those games were very winnable games. This game being the third game that they lost, clearly they should have won, but they were in disarray. They just didn't play very well. But we're going to get into it. But Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, along with Aaliyah Boston, did their thing. This game, and I'm going to say it up front, was won by Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin Clark is going to do Caitlin Clark. We know that. Whether she put up 20 shots, 30 shots, and she knocked down 10 or she have 20 in a night or 15 in a night with however many assists she gets, that's just Caitlin Clark. We know that Mitchell and whoever don't like it, go ahead and clip this, is the engine that runs the fever. If you don't know, you should know by now. She is the engine that runs the fever, that will basically be the deciding factor on whether the fever win or lose by her putting up a really good performance. And that's no shade to Caitlin Clark. It's definitely no shade to Aaliyah Boston. Boston have some great nights when she typically need to, but at times isn't there 100% cold-heartedly for her team. We understand she's coming back from an injury as well. But the Fever has some things to say about losing that game or coming in with a 2-game losing streak. And now here they are. They were able to defeat, of course, the Dream on their home court. And it's always a balance to win on your home court. We'll also discuss how Indiana defense set the tone for Kelsey Mitchell to be explosive in the scoring and have the scoring performance that she had. Caitlin Clark, of course, all around impact. Y'all know what she does, whether she, jerks her head 100 times or not to try to get the call, or whether Angel Reese and the Dream got enough help from the supporting cast around them. And what I mean around them, I mean the team as a whole. That's bench players as well as all 5 starting players. It's inevitable for us to see what takes place along with these teams, and who are your standouts and the lack thereof and some plays and things that they miss. I know that MSL does a really good job giving the takes that he does. And while he gives those takes, hold on one second, y'all. That's my son. Hold on one second. No, y'all, that was my son calling in the middle. He and my grandson want to, say good morning. But hey, nevertheless, we love our kids, right? But I know, like I said, MSL watches the game thoroughly, just like most of you all in the chat watches the game thoroughly. Trust me, we know who don't watch the game because they don't understand the game and they can't give a full soliloquy. They can only clip or send clips to other people, and then those people go and run with the narrative, or they've watched a few highlights. They go through the highlight reels, and then they come and they try to give a base sound for what they think the game, how the game went. But we know that Caitlin Clark fans do not watch the games. Indiana Fever does. Now, you could be a Caitlin fan, but you are more so an Indiana Fever guru. So that's a difference. So you got a number of different ways you can look at this from the standpoint of players versus fans versus alumni versus true legit ball heads, right? And I'm a ball head. We understand the game fully. Sometimes, of course, we don't always get it 100% right. Let's keep that in mind. We don't always 100% get it right, but for the most part, we can break a game down, give you everything the intangibles of a game. Sometimes people don't like to hear the truth, and the truth hurts, but at the same time, it must be said. So did the Fever make a statement in that game, or did they finally turn the corner, right? Which was something they needed to do. Also, and what does this mean for Atlanta Dream and the Commissioner Cup, and how or what does this hold for them moving forward? With that being said, now let's get into it. Let me get my boy MSL up here, because like I said, I love how he can really just come in. Yes, I know sometimes you guys kind of get with MSL and you're like, MSL, you're talking too much. Hey, I don't care about that. Sometimes it is what it is. MSL, I'm gonna bring you up. We'll kind of break this down a little bit and get into the game. Let me go back and let me let you up. There you go. I gotta go. About that. Sometimes it is what it is. MSL, I'm gonna bring you up. We'll kind of break this down a little bit. You got your extra. Let me go back and let me let you up. Your computer or something on. So it's giving the background. There we go.
Hey, Toni.
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome. Hey, I got you.
I can't hear myself for some reason. Yeah. Let me see if this is muted.
You want to try to go? Yeah, go try to set it.
I can't hear myself for some reason.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey guys.
Tony,
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you
this
loud and
is so
clear.
weird. Hold on.
I
Oh,
can hear
Tony,
you. Yes. Can you hear me now?
I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
I can hear you.
Let me
I
try it
can
on
hear
another
you.
computer. Hold
Yes,
on.
I can hear you.
Let me click the
Okay.
link on another computer.
Okay. With that being said, let me finish saying hi to everybody in the chat. We got T. Camilla rolled in. We got Not for the Week rolled in the building. What's going on, Jacob?
I have no idea what's going on, Tony, but I can't hear you.
I know I'm live while you at work, Jacob. Hey,
Hold
MSL,
on.
go ahead and get your computer together and then I'll bring you back up. Okay, I'm gonna bring him down while he get his stuff set up. I know, Jacob, while you're at work, go ahead and get your work on. You can listen. Uh Crash Out Twiller, I see you in the building. You're a Dream fan, so I take your comments on CC serious. Fans serious. Hey, you can take it how whichever way you want, my guy. It's everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but glad you're in the building. With this being said, you can take whatever I say about CC as serious as you want. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm gonna speak facts. And as a fan, as a true fan, someone that want to see Caitlyn be great and continue to be great and to get better in the areas that she lacked, you should be able to take whatever comments that anybody have, because just like you take all comments about CC very serious, I take the backlash that you all give Angel Reese just as serious. So now that we have that completely understood, Crash Out, welcome to the building. Welcome to the building and welcome to my chat. If you really want good conversation, then listen to the takes and not get in your feelings, because it's facts over feelings over here. I don't get in tune with all of the back and forth with the, as you would say, serious CC fans that don't want you to say not one thing negative about her game. She has a game that she has to grow, just like every single player in the league. So if you here for good commentary, welcome. If not, this might not be a space for you. Welcome to the live, guys. Let's get back into it. T. Camilla, welcome. Glad you're here. Live, laugh, love, my girl. Welcome to the building. Live, laugh. Look, it is always great when you're here. I got my boy Hog Boss in the building. Who else we got in the building? We got Big Dog. I didn't forget about you, Big Dog Sports. I see you in the building. Not for the Week. I think I already introduced you. Welcome to the building. We are here for good takes, right takes, not the wrong takes, not the so I got to glaze a player take. We are here for absolutely every player in the W. But right now, I am going to break down this game and give my soliloquy on this game, because others have already had their opportunity. They're right after the game and also yesterday, but it is my take on the game because, again, I did make it yesterday. I welcome all CC fans, trust me. Just know that this is a safe space for every player, and we're going to critique every player accordingly. I don't call over here, we don't call CC BTC, we don't cuss her out, we don't call her trash buckets. You might have some people in the chat that you might have to go back and forth with, but that's y'all business. Up here on the stage, I'm going to say what I got to say, and it is what it is. But again, I'm going to welcome you all the way. OTSS, he just said all is well. Of course. Perfect. Toni, I see you, ADP. I see you, ADP. Yes, I'm coming in blazing because I want people to understand basketball is basketball, and we're going to give takes on basketball players. It is not a facade to sit here and glorify one player while you tear another player down, right? I said it in my soliloquy. Let's see if MSL is ready to come up.
Hey, Toni.
Hey. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. You know what happened?
Okay.
The StreamYard was clicked off the sound, but I didn't realize it. So I didn't know what was going on. So my apologies, but we have finally hooked up, and we've been trying to do this for a few days now, right?
Right.
Well, before I start, I just wanted to say, going back to our talk with Big Dog earlier in the week, Big Dog, we're going to kind of like go through all of this stuff. Big Dog had asked me when we were talking, when we were on the panel, he had asked me, MSL, do you think that they're officiating against Angel Reese? And I had read Carrie Champion and the stuff that y'all had talked about, but additionally, I had read some other articles, including Nancy R. Moore from USA Today and some other folks. That? Yeah, I do. I sent it to your email.
Okay, let me go to my email. I think
you're gonna see like 9 links from me in your email.
Okay, let me go to it because I want to make sure that we put facts up here, right? Because before people come in here acting crazy, let me go ahead and turn the media off so people can hear us very clearly. There we go, guys. We can put the media back on a little bit later, but let me go.
So one of the things that Carrie Champion and Nancy R. Moore from the USA Today article, when they wrote some stuff very, very, very critical of Caitlin Clark, they had intimated that they were hearing from WNBA insiders that Caitlin Clark was officiated in a special way. That's a paraphrase, not a quote. So to Big Dog's question, when he asked me that, I didn't give him a distinctive answer. But after reading and hearing of that, I wanted to say to you, based off of what I've heard, if Caitlin Clark was or is, because we got to also talk about what happened to Caitlin Clark the last week.
Okay, one second. What's your handler?
Oh, it's Eveloid 29, I think, at Outlook or something like that. At Outlook. Let me see. At Outlook. It's from Outlook, Eveloid 29 or something.
Okay.
And I sent you.
Here you go. I got you.
I sent you some early in the week, and I sent some the last few days.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull those so that way we have those out. Let's open. This one is you talking about the one on Megan?
No, this one is from Nancy R. Moore. That's
okay, let me go
author.
to Nancy one. Let me go to Nancy.
Got Nancy R. Moore. And that was also, I can tell you exactly. Hold on. Because they came in one batch. There was Nancy R. Moore, there was Carrie Champion, and there was another article. I forgot the website.
Must be the last one. That must be the last one. Let me go to it. You sent me 3.
Yeah, the other batch I sent you had to do with the mutiny that's going on in the Caitlin Clark camp, because a lot of the reporters who were Caitlin Clark Glazers, they have now thrown her under the bus and thrown her over the ditch. And I think a decree was made either from the Indiana management or someone else to basically say, give her a stern warning and or ready to throw her under the bus. So while a lot of us were still worried about what other people were saying, they were already going in on her, ready to throw her off a cliff. And ironically, the dream, if they would have beat the brakes off of them, then they would have ultimately created the premature demise of both Clark and the Indiana Fever, because all those guys that we talk about that glaze her on the internet, they were fighting with the reporters that were close to the team, like Dan Ditek, because those people, they were calling Clark everything. All the stuff that we say, all of a sudden they were saying about Clark. And the internet glazers, they couldn't believe it. They were in disarray. So if the Dream would have beat them by 20, and Clark did shoot 6 for 17, but if they would have lost shooting 6, they would have been ready to throw her under the bus and get rid of her. So that's why you're starting to hear stuff about her going to LA, even though I don't think she will, because they've either given her a stern warning or they're ready to pull the plug on her. And this is just my opinion, this part I'm about to say, because I think the coach and the management of Indiana deem they can't put up with all this, because you can't coach a team.
You can't coach a team.
Right, you can't coach a team. And so Dan Ditek, who the Glazers think is the mouthpiece for Liz Dunn and the management, even though he did say, and by the way, I have links for all of that stuff. Everything I'm saying, there's a link.
One. Yeah, I don't see that one. So if you want to resend it to me while I'm in here now.
Dan, well, one of them I sent you and Broclaw simultaneously. So all the Caitlin stuff will be on the one I sent you and Broclaw simultaneously.
Okay, let me get to Broclaw. Let me see if it's under that one.
Yeah. The ones, so there's just a lot of stuff that went on. So getting back to the officiating, which was your first thing, if they can preferentially officiate Caitlin Clark, then yes, they can detrimentally officiate Angel Reese, in my opinion, because there are people who are in the media community who have felt that or intimated that. So that's a problem. And I also think that's one of the reasons why this has happened to Clark, because those two ladies who are reporters, Let's Shoot, they work with NBC. One
Yeah.
of them actually, she went to a Portland game and she said that Clark, all the things that she heard, she said it was actually worse in person. She said it was despicable. It was disgusting. It turned her stomach. She said she berated and cussed out refs like literally all game. She said her behavior was despicable. So you had people like her saying that. You had Carrie Champion saying that. You had Dan Ditek saying, he didn't say she's a cancer. That's my paraphrase. But basically, he was saying she can't win. She can't this. She can't do nothing. She shoot too much. This. She plays no defense. This. They were all going in on her. And a lot of us in the community didn't know. I wouldn't know myself. I just happened to see one stray video. I looked at it. And then I followed up on the links and the source information. And I said, oh, wow, they're like throwing her. They're like throwing her overboard. Like somebody gave the decree. So that's why you see people like Crash Out Willie now, and I've dealt with Crash Out Willie before. He does not like he does not like Angel. He thinks Angel is similar to Clark, but she's not, because he wants us to believe because Angel slapped the clipboard out of someone's hand, it's similar to Clark, when everyone who follows the Indiana Fever knows that Clark has despicable behavior. And it's not just her defense. Her offense sucks too, because she's an inefficient shooter. She's a streaky volume shooter. So when you're not playing good D and you're a streaky volume shooter who's inefficient, you normally get benched. And so obviously Steph White benched her in that Portland game. That's what you're supposed to do. And I think that was a warning where if you don't play the type of ball you should play, this is going to happen again. Now, even though the Dream laid an egg, and we can obviously talk about that, but if you look at the game she played, yes, she was an inefficient shooter, but for her, she only took 17 shots versus 28 or some nonsense like that. Boston got to eat. And Kelsey Mitchell, as you correctly said, was the star of the show. And even in that game, Clark was still bitching and moaning with the refs. If they would have lost, I think it would have sent her and the team in an all-out spiral, and we'd be talking about something else today. So what it's done is delayed the inevitable for the next week or two, because if they lose to New York, who they're going to play, that'll be a problem. They play the Sky. They shouldn't lose to the Sky, but if they lose to the Sky, then yeah, they're about to throw the ditch off of her. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Clarksville that some of us are aware of and a lot of us are not aware of, because they done had enough with this girl.
Right. So hold on 1 second, MSL. So we talking about, and you brought it up, right? You talked about Angel slapping the clipboard. Okay, Angel slapped the clipboard. CC slapped the clipboard. We can go 1 for 1 here, and we can go from the beginning of the WNBA for these two ladies all the way down.
Okay, Toni, just to cut you off.
Wait.
Now I want to talk about the emails that you mentioned. The last set I sent you were all the YouTube videos of the people.
I got those.
Okay.
I got those. So we're going to play those in a little bit. But we talking about, this is our crash out guy, right? He's here to sow discourse because he don't want nobody to say anything negative about CC. Angel slapped the clipboard. CC slapped the clipboard. Angel yelled at a ref, got teched. CC constantly yells at the ref and doesn't get teched.
She told that referee what the F is wrong with you.
Yes, that's the last game. She told the ref what the F is wrong with you. And she's put her hands in their faces. She's damn near spit in their faces. But no other player in the league, no other player can dare wave their hand at a ref. They're going to get a tech. You can't dare clap your hands in the ref's face like CC did and not get called. Every last player. So if we want to talk about fairness and what we should and shouldn't say about CC, she's getting away with murder
That is
Allegedly, right?
100% true.
She's getting away with murder, and every single player in the league has to feel that pressure of
Def-
not being able to say absolutely anything or show any emotion or any demeans towards a ref, while she is a loose damn cannon. She's a loose cannon. Give it to her. Guys, don't hide for your player. She's a loose cannon,
And I
period.
think as more and more people like Nancy Almore, and by the way, that was sent to you 6/3/2026 at 5:33
Yes,
p.m. And
here it
Nancy
is. I
Almore
got
from
that
USA
one.
Today is the top article. She went in on CC. Now, whether they got the decree or they were just responding to all these articles, but all of a sudden, real reporters started talking about how disgusting CC is with referees and so forth like that. Now, as your Indiana, when you start to look at it and say, okay, she's a streaky shooter, she has a poor percentage, her defense is not always great. Most of the time it's not. And we win better when we don't play with her. For example, Jason Whitlock admitted that, because when and I sent you that video too, when Dan Ditek went in
Yeah.
on Jason Whitlock, Jason Whitlock admitted, repeating Dan Ditek, that they play better without her. Like, all this is now out now. All this is out. And basically Dan Ditek
Yes.
told Jason
Yes.
Whitlock, look, and Dan Ditek doesn't like the WNBA. He does not like Angel Reese, as far as I've seen, but they've all taken a 180-degree turn, because now he's
No,
calling
he
Steph
doesn't
White
like her.
now he's calling Steph White the best coach in the league, and he's calling, and he's saying, and he's throwing CC under the bus. So all of these Glazers now, Crash Out Willie is probably a paid shill that gets paid to do this, unless he's just dumb, because he says the same thing over and over and over and over
He
again.
does.
And
He repeats himself.
and one of the things that I find interesting is I don't know if CC will have a similar situation to Angel, for this reason. We all know that Angel has been preparing her departure from Chicago for 2 years, right? She's been huddling, like all the top players in those teams. She was huddling with J.O. here. She's huddling with Fee here. She's huddling with Kai Copper and AT here. She's huddling, with Paige, and et cetera and so forth. And they go back and talk to their management. And that's also another thing when we get to the game, Toni, that we can talk about. I mean, I mentioned it with ADP, and I mentioned it a little bit the last that we spoke. The way Jeff Shepard is playing right now is the vision that we all had for Angel at Atlanta. And the people who don't follow Angel, like Crash Out Willie, they're still thinking about that person in her rookie year that's forcing shots down low, not realizing the Angel that played in her second year, point forward like Angel. That's the Angel that all the coaches that Kurt and Dallas and Smesco, that's the Angel that they want. And unfortunately, it seems like, I guess when Jose read everybody the riot act, they all fell in line. They all, like a gangster, like a mafioso. Jose was like, look, if you don't do this, you're all out. You're all out. And they listen, right? Because think about this. For those idiots that like to say, oh, Angel Reese, or that letter,
let me say this.
right.
Let me get in here.
Sure. Go ahead.
Let me get in here. All right. And I'm gonna play something, right? But we talking about guys, players grow each year, right? MSL players grow each year. And those that are true basketball heads and not just glazing over a player is this, right? True basketball heads gonna give true analysis. Right now, I'm looking in the chat and people are fighting about, oh, Allen Hines threw Angel to the ground. Why didn't Angel do nothing? Angel is evolving as a player. Angel is told to just play the game right now and don't allow negativity to get to you. Why doesn't Angel do post interviews? Because it wasn't Angel's turn, or she wasn't called to do post interviews. She don't have to be in every post interview like CC. CC, if that's what they want to put her in there every single time, go for it. That's her organization. Each organization do their own thing. So get off of that narrative. She doesn't have to. And top of that, but listen to this, on top of that, what people have to understand is we have a million and one things going on. that moment last year in which this guy is coming in sowing discourse about, oh, Angel jumped up when CC attacked her. Well, guess what? That was a hard on, not a foul that shouldn't have been done. She was teched for it, so we moved on. Guess what? CC was teched, Angel was teched. CC purposely pushed Angel down when she wasn't paying attention. On top of that, this year it's a basketball play. So therefore, post players will do that to each other. Stop it with the CC bullshit, Crash Out. Cut the shit out. You
But
in
we
here for
can't.
nonsense. At the end of the day, let's get back to the soliloquy, right? In this game, and you said, MSL, basically breaking it in a sense before we get all the way into it. This game, Atlanta Dream simply just did not play a well game. They did not play well at all. They played like dumpster juice. I'm just going to say it. They didn't play well. They let the zone defense into a man. It was a zone into man, back into a zone type style, help side defensive effort.
Yeah, it wasn't Smesco's good day. Smesco had a horrible day.
By the Fever. And like I said, and you said it already, Fever had to win this game. They had to. It was a must. There was no way that the Fever, if they lost this game to the Dream, would have been able to just coast on for the rest of the narrative. Moving
No, it's too
on
much
to the
negative
next
energy,
game.
and this
It
would have
would have
just
been
reinforced
terrible,
it.
right? So now you have to get into Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell started this off. She balled her butt off. She did an amazing job, and she put Indiana Fever on her back, which allowed space and creation for CC to be able to do what she did, right? Not taking anything away from CC's ability to score like she did, right? And get to the bucket. But all of the head faking and nodding and shit,
Yeah,
they're
she
going to
was
have to
still
start
doing
calling
her stuff.
some text, because you got to stop doing that.
If they
Or
would have
just stop
lost, they would have
calling
called her
fouls
out for it even
on her
more.
nose, right? Exactly. But if you don't call the fouls alluding into that type of behavior, then she has to change, right? She has to play solid basketball. But because it is warranted and they're making the calls on that, it is what it is. Not gonna hate it until they decide to do something about it. Until they do that, it is what it is, right? If she can get it, oh well. At all the players, they just gonna have to figure out how to get around it, right? If she isn't allowed to do it, eventually they're gonna call it out. But the way to call it out is for anybody that have pages, TikToks, Snapchat, Instagrams, all of those things. You just put your clips out, and that's gonna help her fans understand where she is lacking, and she used that as a way and a means to be able to control the narrative. I'm going to say this, MSL in chat. I don't have a problem with a player if this is what the refs are going to allow to happen. Do. But my thing is this: if she can do it, so should the other players. That's all I'm going to say with that, right? Because it's unwarranted, it's unnecessary, it's very obvious, and eventually, if no one does anything about it, it's going to become one of those memes where people aren't going to want to watch her play as much. And you alluded to that, right? So if, in fact, if they're going to allow to do it, fine, right? You just can't have it one way. You have to allow the other players in the league to be able to do it as well.
And the Dream left her off the hook, because that would have been a reason for them to push her aside. Let me read you what Nancy Elmore said, right?
Yeah, because I didn't get Nancy one.
Yeah, the title of the article is Caitlin Clark can be electric and exhausting sometimes in the same quarter. And one of the things she says is Clayton Clark's honeymoon was never going to last. Any athlete this hype and this adored always gets their comeuppance. It happened to LeBron James. It happened to Tiger Woods. It happened to Peyton Manning. But by Clark's own actions and accelerating hers, the flopping that even is, and I'm reading direct, y'all. I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
But Clark's
And if
own
you get a
actual,
chance, send it to me
you
again
have
and
it.
put it at the
The
top.
flopping that's even a C-list actor would find cringy. The histrionics over calls and the disrespect towards the refs. The indignation over reasonable questions about the health of a player who missed most of last season with a series of injuries. It's made Clark into the WNBA's own Rorschach's test. Either you think she could do no wrong, the Glazers, or you think she's an entitled brat. And the number of people who don't hold an opinion seem to be dwindling. Is what only her third season. Trash talk is fine, tantrums are not. Clark is a transcendent player. Now, this is my opinion, or at least they want us to believe. No one disputes that. Her logo threes remain worth the price of admission. Her ability to flip a game in an instant makes the Indiana Fever a must-watch whenever they play. If you want to teach a kid on how to be a menace to opponents, have them watch a spotlight or reel of Clark's passes. So she had to say good stuff before she got to this. This also isn't a criticism of Clark's trash talking or pearl clutching, because women athletes dare to have the same competitive fire as male athletes. Players' beefs like Cartland with Tiffany Hayes of the Golden State Valkyries are part of what makes sports so entertaining. It's the petulance. Let me repeat that. It's the petulance that is turning people off. There's at least one instant every game that Clark's acts that she's been shot after pushing off someone else, or she drops to the court without even being touched. Take Thursday night's game at Golden State. Clark was guarding Valkyries forward Cecilia Zandalcini, if I'm saying it correct. Zandalcini was dribbling. Right, was dribbling towards the basket. If there was any contact, it was minimal, yet Clark fell backwards if she'd been shoved by one of the Avengers. There's also at least one instance every game where Clark berating a referee, just like the young lady from Let Them Shoot said, I forgot her name, when she said it was disgusting and it was worse than she ever thought. F you, F you, F you, F you to the reps, as she said. And I think I sent that video to you as well, Toni. Hating on WNBA referees or officials in any sport for that matter might be our national pastime, but there's a way to do it without oozing condensation, which is what happens when Clark claps at a ref and tells them to open their eyes. Clark also got annoyed earlier this week about questions about being a late scratch with a back injury. Besides it being possible, the Fever skirted WNBA rules. Clark's health is fair game after she missed all but 13 games last season with injuries that were supposed to be fine. And hold on. So, I mean, she goes on and on talking about Clark's irrational behavior. And they said, contrary to what most irrational base of Clark's fandom believes, Crash Out Willie, if he or she is real and not a bot, she is not being attacked. Opposing players are not going after her because they're jealous of her. The W is and always has been a physical league, and Clark is guarded harder and tighter because she often has the ball in her hands or because there's no place on the court where she's not a threat. Besides, Clark is getting calls more than most players. She's averaging 6 free throw attempts a game. This is what we were talking about the other day, Toni. This season, 9th highest in the league. According to TeamRankings.com, no one else on the Fever, even with big ass Mammy Sambo, Olivia Boston. I said that, of course, guys. No one else on the Fever is averaging more than 4.9 attempts per game. Not every player has to be liked by everybody, but Clark went over the entire country, WNBA promotion, that's me, with the way she played. Now she's at risk at turning people off for the very same reason. And this is USA Today, guys, on top of Carrie Champion and this guy, Dan Ditek. They all within 1 week just started killing her and calling out all her flaws. So because Ditek claims he got his stuff from the Indiana Fever, it seems like Stephanie White and the Indiana management said, look, what are we going to do? Because and someone else had also, you know who else went after her? Annie Costabile went after her. I said that to you
Annie
also.
Costabile. Now, you know, once Annie Costabile start getting going, it's crazy.
Right.
However,
so she's
you're sending it, MSL, I'm not getting it. I got the last.
Well, let me go. No. These articles were sent Wednesday, 6/3/2026 at 5:33 p.m. And the top one is Nancy Almore. After that, there's the Carrie Champion thing, and then there's another one that says from Yahoo that says the Shadow. There's one from the Shadow League. There's one from Yahoo, and there's the Nancy Almore. Those are on one email, so you should have that. You should have that.
Let me see if it went to my
Let me click on the Shadow League one, because that was about the petulance, right? So
Uh-huh.
basically, guys, so when someone like Crash Out Willie tries to sit here and act like she hasn't done anything wrong and compare her to Angel Reese, they're capping. They're 100% capping, and you can't take them seriously because they have their idea of Angel Reese, and then we have reality. And their
Yeah.
idea of Angel Reese is not reality. All Angel's coaches love her going back to high school and AAU. You can find videos of her AAU coaches talking about her high school coaches talking about her. Kim Mulkey loves her. Tyler
Um,
Marsh loves her, even though even though he's a well, let me say
he's
this.
a
He's too
puppet. He's
passive.
just a
He's
puppet.
a puppet, right? He's a
He's just a
puppet.
puppet. Yeah.
And the coach she has now says she's doing everything he asks, which is part of the problem because that's how she is.
That's how she
And
plays. She
that's
does
how she
whatever the
is.
coach tell her to do.
She's very, very coachable. No one has never said that she wasn't coachable. So when Crash Out Willie says she threw her team under the bus, well, wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, when the assistant coach told her to play defense, do we forget what happened? It was
Right.
Cece that missed the defensive assignment. She blamed it on one of her teammates. So there Cece threw her teammates under the bus in front of her teammates, in front of her, in front of the audience. And then she went after Brianna January. And then when the coach said something, she waved the coach off. That's disrespectful to your coach, disrespectful to your assistant coach, and disrespectful to your team, all in the same instance. So what the hell is Crash Out Willie talking about? And
Right.
then we got a situation where she's kicking water bottles and kicking this, kicking that. We all know about these things. These aren't secrets with Caitlin Clark. So if Angel slaps a clipboard out of her hand, guess what? That was anger. She was mad, but it wasn't necessarily generated toward the assistant coach. She just happened to be at the wrong
Exactly.
place at the wrong time. All these things that Caitlin's doing is to the people who are involved. Well, let's talk about the disrespect with the security guard, where her and Sophie last year blowing up the security guard, and then when Brianna January comes back, they blow her off. She's a repeat offender. People like Crash Out Willie got to be on payroll because if you have any common sense, Caitlin Clark is a fraud. She is a media creation. She is not who and what they say she is. And now everybody's coming down on her and talking about this, and the Clarkies don't know what to do. Like, they were in a free fall. If the Dream would have won that game, the Clarkies would have been crying their tears out saying it's over, it's over, it's over, because they're all saying that Stephanie White won. They're all saying Stephanie White won. This is what they're saying. She won. Because they know she can't, they know all these things about her. They just pretend not to know. So when it starts to come out, and the team also had a 2-hour meeting and they all cussed her out. They had a 2-hour players only meeting to quote unquote get their feelings out about
Their
this stuff.
frustration out. Yeah.
Right, their frustration. So it's all came to a head. And the thing you got to realize is the team was 4-4 at the time. She's cussing out refs to where people are now saying, "What's wrong with this girl? What's wrong with this girl?" Now it's one thing when the team is playing well, but if you're still shooting 38% from the field, you're still averaging 5 turnovers. The team is not playing well. Boston's not involved. KM is not involved the way she should. And then to make matters worse, the top players don't want to go there. Let's not talk about Tawana Bonner. Let's not talk about Natasha Howard. Let's not talk about Odyssey Sims. So they're looking at it like, well, she ain't doing what we want, and nobody wants to come here because of her. I mean, look at how well Natasha Howard is playing with Olivia Miles. Think about that. Look at how well she's in. Look at how Melissa Smith is balling out playing with Chelsea Gray.
Yes.
She's balling out. But these people were hated when they played for Indiana. They were hated. They were not liked.
Right.
So
let's get into this a little bit. I'm going to let you finish that.
Sure.
And then let's get into this video real quick. Go ahead.
And I'll get you the Dan Dytek so you can play it.
Yeah.
Because they're going to love that.
Right. So at the end of the day, what we're saying is this game told a big story, right? It tells a big story on how they were able to come together after all of those things that happened, that all her fans are like, well, blah, 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 blah. And, she's still the greatest. Although she treats her teammates like shit, she talks to the ref like they're beneath her, and how dare you make any call on me? And she has no respect. So now I'm saying that because you want to come in here and you want to troll on some BS versus let us give our true soliloquy. And I've already gave a tidbit of it. I don't have a problem with CC. I don't have a problem with her game. I have a problem with her attitude, right? Because you have an attitude stand that goes, what's going on, my brother Brass? You know, you always welcome. Always. I have a problem with how she treats those around her that plays for her and support her. Before it's her game, I don't have an issue. Why? Because players are players. Players are passionate. Players do silly things sometimes in a moment of passion, but
Tony, I
everybody is
reset one of the
told to be
videos.
checked.
Can you check your
Wait,
email? I reset one of the
okay,
videos. Can you check your email?
yeah, I'm gonna check it. Yeah, but everybody else is being told that she's the only one that can behave the way that she's behaving, and we're not gonna call any technicals on her. Just a player last night got teched. Angel got teched twice already. Um, Paige got teched. Who else? There's two other players that have gotten technicals just by clapping their hands or waving their hand at a ref. But this girl is allowed to wave her hand, get in their face, tell them they ain't ish, call them MFers, this, that, and the third. And you guys, as her fans, are saying that's okay? Are we serious? Are we kidding? And then when they get in her face, the other players, and tell her she ain't shit, why they playing, right? Because it's a moment of what goes on inside the realm of that court. Once you're outside the realm of that court, they're all cool. Once you get inside that court, on that court, it's a different story. I don't like you, your mama, your grandma, or your daddy. If you got a child, I don't like your child either because I'm going at you. That's the attitude of most of these players. That's the attitude they're supposed to have. It is basketball. It is a sport. But what we not going to do is consistently just point out, oh, well, Angel this. Well, CC the greatest. There's more players in the league than Angel and CC. And we definitely going to get into that because I'm going to cover Asia Wilson's next game because it's going to be an Asia Wilson / Kennedy Carter show. So it's coming. But at the end of the day, we're not going to sit here and we're not going to just keep bashing and bashing and bashing and bashing and bashing Angel when this girl, CC, is just doing whatever she wants, tormenting the entire league at this point. You're tormenting players. It is downright harassment. It is bullying. Yes, I said it. Allegedly, YouTube, bullying the referees. You're bullying them to give you the call that you think you should get, and you should be able to run around the court, the entire court, and fake nod your head and get a call. And when you don't like it, you telling the referee kick rocks.
And I
That's
think,
not
and
the
I
case.
and I saw this young lady's presentation for the amount of time that she did it. That you had, it was excellent, excellent, excellent. I want you, if you can play Dan Ditek. It's under Keep the Vision and Venom. There's a link that says Keep the Vision. He's crashing out, and then there's Venom, another one, and then it says Jason Williams confronts Dan Ditek. That video is the gentleman who knows Liz Dunn. He used to be coached by Bobby Knight. He was also a coach himself, and he brags that he has, you know, affiliation with the Fever and back and forth. He did a video that trashes Caitlin Clark and essentially says all the stuff that we said. But what's important about that, though, he's in the media. He's with Outkick, a group that's never liked the WNBA or Angel for that matter, Outkick. So when someone like that is trashing Clark and saying that they're better with Kelsey Mitchell leading the team and they're better when she's not playing and things like that, obviously they got the message from someone. No one goes from saying she's the greatest in sliced bread and then a month later, you know, they're saying, oh, she's a cancer on the team. He didn't say cancer. He said something to that effect. I don't remember, but something to that effect. Yeah, they got a phone call from somebody.
Yeah, I just got your emails too. I just got
yeah. So that means that the CC train is grounding. Now, whether or not it stops, we don't know. We'll have to see if you would have spoke to me 2 days ago, I would have said the game with the Dream, because I think the Dream would have pushed her over the edge. They
Yeah.
didn't do it. So now we have to see what happens in the next week or two. But the Dream could have really pushed her over the edge, because these guys are freaking out. They're like, where can she go? Stephanie White's in control. Like all these people that I always...
She's called a coach.
Right. All these people that I call paid presenters, like Keep the Vision and Venom and Mick Talks Hoop. Mick Talks Hoop did 7 videos in one day on CC, not being in control. Like, these people are in free fall, y'all. They were in free fall. And the Dream laid a serious egg. We can talk about that, later, as far as they didn't seize the moment, because if they did, they could have been the new kings along with the Dallas Wings of the WNBA, because at least for this year, it looked like they were pushing Indiana away because they knew they wasn't going to win nothing, and they could have anointed Dallas, Minnesota, and Atlanta, but now they're giving them life to come back. So we'll see what happens. But yes, this young lady right here said it very well in 2 minutes. But the video I'm talking about is the one that says Dan Ditek confronts Jason Whitlock. It's one of those links that I sent you. See, I always got the facts, Toni. I always got the facts. I just don't run. I got opinions, and I'll let you know it's my opinions. But when it comes to clowns like Crash Out Willie, I always got the facts.
Yes, look at this. I'm looking at Kappa. Kappa said, it's something that Not for the Week says we all dead ass. It says some of us ain't going to the game today, and as season ticket holders, we sent a letter to the GM about the Fever game. Yes, I mean, sometimes you have to put it out there to, if people sit back and allow it to happen, change doesn't happen. And here's what we want. We simply, truly just want the fair treatment across the board, right? Yes, your star players will have somewhat of a special whistle, but it's not so obvious. Like, we know Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson is the GOAT. She's the queen of basketball right now, and she deserves the whistle that she gets. Sometimes you're like, huh? But it's not over melodramatic, right? And the refs play within the realm of the game. They call the special whistle in the realm of the game, right? But CC's whistle is so different. The lack thereof of teching every player in the league except for her, with the stuff that she does with the refs. And I really, I'm glad you're here. And that's why I told you to come up immediately, because I know this is something that we'll be able to push out and actually talk to the chat more about. Like, this stuff has to be pushed out. It has to be talked about. It has to be noticed, because what are we watching here? You're telling everyone in the world, in the country, and in other countries, so I'm just go back to the world, that when you watch Caitlin Clark, it is okay for her to cuss and demean the referees every night that she plays than any other player. No one can. Right now, they got Angel on lock. Angel can't move wrong. Angel's not going to get a whistle. There's 2 to 3 defenders on her underneath that basket. People, she missed layups. Well, I wonder why. I have a clip too that shows Hines Allen grabbing Angel's arms completely across while she's going up for the ball. I mean, to put the ball back up. And yes, she missed the layup, but it was clearly a foul.
And Toni,
no call was made. So if we're going to talk about this, let's break it down all the way. We'll go and take every last one of Angel's clips of the game and show where the fouls were, and they weren't called.
And Toni, you're 100% right, because even though in one of the articles that I sent you, I think it was with Nancy Amore, they pointed out that despite the fact that she's taking more free throws, except for 9 people in the entire 180-person league, as a perimeter player, they still bitch and moan about the falls they claim she doesn't get. But meanwhile, if we say, and we usually don't, because we know how it sounds to people who don't know basketball, so we just don't say it. But then Angel gets hacked all the time. She's always doubled and triple teamed, but they pretend like she's not doubled and she's not triple. They pretend, they laugh it off, go, oh, who would double and triple team Angel? Oh, it's right there in front of your face every day. And then when she gets fouled, they don't even acknowledge that. Just like they can't acknowledge that she's a point forward, or she played the point forward last year. So, and the thing, and Angel doesn't have paid presenters who are tied into the media who can be a megaphone for her voice. You know, we may have to start telling people like that MTV guy from Atlanta to say, hey, you need to ask Coach Smesco. Shepard is playing the type of ball that we thought Angel was going to play in Atlanta. So when is Atlanta going to have Angel playing Jose ball? Because Jose got Shepard, a lightly regarded player in the context of what Angel can do, balling. And here's the thing. Nobody's talking about Paige. No one's talking about AZ. They're talking about Shepard. Paige had a great game last night with 18 points and 13 assists. But a lot of our people wanted us to believe that, Angel would have no say in Atlanta because Ryan Howard and Alicia are there. Well, let's call a spade a spade. Alicia and Ryan are great, but just like Caitlin Clark, they're very streaky. They can score 30 points one day and 10 points the next game. So these aren't players that you can count on every day. You need someone like Angel, who's an all-around player, who comes to work every day to be part of the mix. And the fact that she's a willing passer out of the post and a willing passer from the top of the key and a willing passer in transition, she needs to get more involved with the offense, because Jordan Canada is not going to cut it as far as this team. And look at what Shepard is doing in Dallas. Remember, guys, Angel was supposed to go to Dallas. She was supposed to go to, it was Smesco that called Angel and said, why do you want to go to Dallas when I can teach you this and teach you this? And you can play point forward here too. Yeah. That's what it was. Smesco that made Angel not go to Dallas.
All right.
So now you're here. Shepard already won Player of the Week. You know, and Angel is still trying to find her footing because, and it's three things. It's three things. It's Angel not putting her foot down. It's Jordan Canada not relinquishing control. And it's Smesco waiting for the players to work it out, because I understand where he's coming from. He doesn't want to set a decree. He wants something that the players can agree upon. Now with Dallas, they got their ass waxed, and good old Jose, Consigliere Jose sat back and said, look, there's selfishness going on in here. There's selfishness in the air, like this YouTuber, I forgot her name, said. She was so funny. And guess what? They responded. And Paige is giving up the ball and allowing Jessica. Some days Jessica leads and assists. Some days Paige leads and assists. And the other thing is Jessica is shooting 50%, but to all the Clarkies, Toni, if you actually watch the games like last night, it's the motion, it's the cuts, it's the backdoor things, it's the actions that they have that are giving Jessica easy shots and easy layups, just like Natasha Howard in Minneapolis. Angel is struggling to score, because if she pass it out and they miss, they're on, what are they, 5 for 25 3-pointer days, then they're missing. So Angel says, okay, well, let me try to have it down low. But now she's going against two or three people. So the way to get around that is to have actions with Angel up top, as you know, so she could now be the decision maker, like the video you said, to cutters and back cutters. But there's no motion, there's no action. And looking at Dallas last night, their offense looked 10 times better than what Atlanta's been doing, Toni. What you think?
Well, let's play this, and then we'll get into that. Let's play it.
No, no, we going back and forth between Clark, what's happening to Clark, and the game.
Yeah, let's get to it. I think it's here, because I have this up twice. Let's see.
Now, Toni, while you're doing that, I'm sending you an email. The video you can play, it's the one that says Jason Whitlock is exposed by Dan Ditek, and when you go down, you'll see the link. Matter of fact, I'll just make it the top link. I'll just repeat it, and I'm sending this to you now.
Yeah, send it to me. All right, let's play this guy, because look, shout out to her. I watch her all the time. She gives the best clean analysis and critiques out there. This coach does a really good job. And again, I always give her flowers because she does an amazing job. And she said it best. And we got a few things we're going to show here, guys. Let's see. Let me hit play.
I just sent it, Toni.
Okay.
Just so you know, Toni, it's not playing. I can't hear it on my end.
Oh, you can't hear it? Hold on.
No, I
I'm
can hear you
surprised y'all
talk to
can't hear
me.
it. Let me see.
So my earphone's working because I can hear you talk to me, but I
Let
don't
me
hear the
see.
video.
Oh, you know what? Because I have it up here twice. Let me go to the other one because this one is up from Facebook. Oh, I can play it. Let's see if it plays. Let's see if it plays. Let's see if it plays. Let me go back to it.
And I sent you the email with the guy connected to the Fever, Dan Ditek, and you'll on the video it's him, and then he'll reference Jason Whitlock, and y'all can hear the circle of firing squad that's going on in the Clarkie community.
Okay, here we go. Let's get this played. Let's go. Let me get it.
Does not know how to use.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
Lost
okay,
two back-to-back under a lot of public scrutiny for one reason or another. They banned a long-time reporter. Caitlin Clark's getting into it with the head coach. This was a moment that showed that Indiana can come out on the better side of adversity. And then we got an electric performance from Kelsey Mitchell. We've become used to that, but I don't think we're talking about Kelsey Mitchell, the defender, enough. I think that this season has been some of her.
Uh-oh.
It stopped playing.
It's internet. Let's go internet. What we doing?
Best defensive efforts. She's looking really inspired on that end of the court. Indiana collectively had a strong defensive effort. They were really able to slow down the Dream with that help side defense. Atlanta was not able to get the paint points that they typically get in matchups. We got a balanced effort from Caitlin Clark, who we got a balanced effort from Caitlin Clark, who flirted with the triple-double, also showed up in a better light defensively. They weren't able to pick apart that matchup like other teams had done in the past. And then Indiana got a strong effort from their bench players, about 14 points off of the bench.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
But I really want to talk about Atlanta and what I'm going to say, but what I really want to talk about is Atlanta.
Again.
For the past 2 seasons, we have said, but I really want to get into Atlanta. And over the past couple of,
I won't replay it again. I just wanted to make sure y'all heard that loud and clear.
Oh, I thought you were playing her CC video.
We talked about how Atlanta tends to go away from what is working in games. I'm going to also add to Atlanta does not know how to use their post players. With the addition of Angel, Reese, and Medina.
It's going in and out, Toni.
It's going in and out.
I need to see more intentional efforts in getting the post the ball. Currently, Atlanta is ranked 10th in 3-point percentage. We know Carl Smesko wants to shoot the 3. When you increase your post activity, that is going to happen. It's going to open up the perimeter. Akat had 7 points in 9 minutes. I do not understand why she was not utilized more. And I'm over the conversation about Atlanta's lack of depth. They do not lack depth. At this point, they're lacking the trust in the depth. Tahina Pow is the best guard when it comes to getting the ball to the post. That is literally what she did in her tenure in South Carolina. She needed to be on the court. Carl Smesko has been criticized throughout the season. People want him to be more aggressive. People want him to get more techs and stick up for his players when it comes to fouls. I can understand that may not be his personality, but as a coach, I do not understand
Come on, let's pause in, y'all.
And how he watched the effort of Ron Howard and not become livid. Now, I'm going to say something
I'm pausing that, right? I'm going to say this because it takes us back, and I'm going to finish playing it here in a second, but I want to get to that point, and I want to understand, right? How is it? And this reminds me of two other players in the league, right? How is it that when your best player, right, is not giving the effort, or isn't with it, or is it that she's exhausted, right, from the game before? If so, they just played 2 days prior to that, right? So if she's exhausted, just like what we're saying here, she said it best: use Tahina Pau, right? If Tahina Pau gets, I think if she has the appropriate time on the floor, she's going to give you what you need, right? But again, she's your better entry passer to the post. We got to see this game, and we got to see Naz Hillman miss Angel twice, right? Once smack dab from the top of the key, Angel posting up. It was a one-on-one. She could have passed it. All she had to do was just throw it up high. Angel's going to go get it. Anything you throw up there, Angel's going to go get. It doesn't matter who you're facing,
she has
right?
very good hands.
She has hands like a mitten. She can catch anything, right? Even if it was one hand. We got to see that throughout her college tenure. Also, she missed her again when she was on the right side, deep side of the three-point line. Angel posted. Angel's asking for the ball. Angel is the only one under the basket, and she skips past the ball all the way across to Jordan Canada, opposite side of the floor, enough for it to get deflected. So when we're talking about that, and no, I think that there's some things that Jordan Canada does. I know that you don't really care for MSL, but there are some things that Jordan Canada does that they absolutely, truly need her on the floor for. But there's moments where she should come off. Tahina Pau need to get in there. I want to see the coach. Semesco really, truly has to use Navarre. I know that he goes with the other girl first, the other point guard first, but I think that Navarre coming in the game, she gives just a different look. Barlace. She gives just a different look for the dream, right? She's a runner. She's a track star, right? She can run with Angel. All of these girls can run on the floor. I just think that you have to make sure that whatever combination is killing at the time, you need to roll with it. And you don't need to be changing up what works, right? When you change up what works, it literally messes up the dynamics of what's going on the court at the time. But you have to make sure that you give in to Tahina. Tahina Pau was scoreless in that game, but she's scoreless because you got her in and out. Did she turn the ball over once? Yes. But nevertheless, you got to let her get in the floor of the game. I think that she's someone that's an added player that could do some things, but she's also a shooter as well. As you can see, she's helped out in the first 3 games that we've had. So to not go back to her and allow her to just get comfortable on the floor so she may mess up. I know that they're saying Canada, and those ladies talked about it in the interview that, we did a lot of, we have to go away from doing a lot of one-on-one ball, because that's absolutely what they did.
Yeah, they're not playing team ball right now. A couple times
where she's just basically just blew by the fact that Angel set a screen, she rolled, and they just go to the cup. They have tunnel vision. Players like Alicia Gray, I love you, baby, but the tunnel vision.
She has no eyes. She has no eyes.
You have to be able to see your post. Your post players are working hard for you guys, but this is going to definitely have to be the conversation that the coach is having amongst his players while in that locker room when they're watching film, right? How is it that you're watching film and you can't see from your own visual eyes that look, dang, you know, I know I was going to the cup, but Angel was right there. I could have dropped a dime. Or man, Angel rolled so hard. Not even just Angel. Let's take Angel name out of it, right? Ocott rolled hard when she was in there. All you got to do is lob it high, right? Nas gets to the one thing I like about Nas when she gets ready to roll is Nas roll, but she rolls on the backside shoulder. And so it allows her to cut to be open more, which if I feel you're a veteran of that team and this is the best way the players get it to you, then you should be working with your other post players that's on your team and letting them know, hey, it's better that you roll this way instead of slipping that way. And then you'll have a few seconds more added to your roll and you can get the ball a lot clearer. I've seen that. I think that that's something that they should work on it together as a team. But I don't think that someone said, I'm going to go back to Big Girl's statement. She said it's being said that they point shaving. I'm not going to get into
everybody
the point
says that about every team, though.
Yeah. I just think that they have to be more mindful that they have to work with every player on the team. And I think when they did that against the Fire, right, they went to Angel and Nas most and allowed them to do work in the post. And you just got to do that. When you do that, it allows you as the guard to be open more, so they have better outlooks.
Especially
and
with
Angel.
Angel.
Yes, you have a much better opening view of the shot and a 90% chance to knock it down versus a 50, 40, 50, 60% chance, right? You got to give yourself that opportunity. People are saying they clipped us and said, oh, look at them. They're crashing out on a dream. Everybody knows how Brother Duvall is. Brother Duvall say, fuck this, fuck that. That's just who he is, right? He talks about all the teams. He says it about all the teams. He can say whatever he wants about the dream because that boy has been a dream fan forever. And he's a Angel to him is the golden God. But we have to think about and be mindful of different things like that. What we see on the floor and what can be better for this, for the dream.
Well, if you remember, Toni, when people ask why Atlanta, besides the obvious, I remember one of the things I said was, because at the time Dallas didn't have Shepherd, they didn't have AZ, and I was saying, well, it's a young team, it's a mature team, but it's still a young team. And one of the things I said is she's on the 3rd year of her rookie deal. If she doesn't
Are you still there? He went muted.
Sorry, I must have tapped the microphone. Where'd you lose me?
Yeah, no, you go ahead and
So I had said one of the things I had said besides the obvious with Atlanta was they were a mature team, but they were still a young team as far as their core. However, if she didn't like what she saw, she could still, after the 4th year of her rookie contract, still go to Dallas anyway. Even if they try to write a first refusal or whatever, she can still go to Dallas if she didn't like it. So Atlanta needs to understand that Angel Reese is not famous because she's famous. She's not famous because she's beautiful. She's not famous because she's charismatic. She's not famous because she's likable. She's famous because she's a great basketball player. That's what all attracted us to her. She's a great basketball player. So if she's not featured as a great basketball player, guess what? Just like LeBron, she's going to take her talents elsewhere. So I'm sure the management knows about this. Duvall talked about it a little bit last night, but someone needs to communicate between the president, the CEO, and the GM down to Smesco that, look, if you feature Angel in the offense, it's only going to help the team. Look at all the games that Angel already won for the team so far in this short season with both her offense and her defense and passing the ball out of the post, right? And we see it in bits and pieces. It's not to say that Atlanta, we see it in bits and pieces, right? Canada passes to Angel at the top of the key or at the foul line for a layup. She passes her at the elbow for a Euro step layup. They passed the ball. Angel in a Portland game, that was a good game for Angel, right? She still had the triple double team, so she pulled herself out and she started shooting floaters in the lane. But the question is, how do you get her those easy baskets like Natasha Howard is doing now in Minneapolis, and how Shepard is doing right now in Dallas? Like, they got to figure out a way to make things easier for their posts, whether it's back cuts, whether it's actions at the top, whether it's backdoor plays, the pick and roll. When's the last time we seen Angel roll and they pass her the ball?
Right. And I want to see, I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to make it real brief, right? And I'm going to try. And like I said, I'm one of those individuals that kind of try and listen to what the coach is saying and seeing if it makes sense. For it to make sense, you have to first and foremost show what it is that you're saying. Like he said, the beginning of the season isn't going to look as great, right? People are going to be expecting a whole lot from us. And it's not going to be what they think. The players have to get comfortable with each other. The players, we have to work Angel into the system and this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something. I don't care what system you put Angel in. You put Angel in the paint, Angel's going to work. And you just have to let them work. I.e., if you would have allowed that to happen, even in this Fever game, the game would have looked different. I.e., and I'm going somewhere with this, when you had Angel and Okada in there together, they tied the game, correct? Because we were down. Now you take her out, it looks different, and you're like, what are we doing here, right? You got to let stuff like that continue to roll and allow those two ladies to cook until the well runs dry, because those ladies did not have an answer. And I'm going to say this too. Also, that Angel didn't get as many touches as she wanted to. The touches that she did get in the paint were effective. She drawed the defense she needed to draw. She was fouled. She didn't get the calls. However, she mustered through. And I'm going to say this about a player. I mean, about someone on, I have it here. And I'm going to finish Coach's soliloquy while I look for that. Let's let this finish. But you had someone that came in. Shout out to him. And I'm going to pull it back up because I had to go to this. He specifically said it was the first time that he went to a WNBA game. And let's put us on the screen for this because I want people to see me. It's the first time that he went to a WNBA game, going to Indianapolis, right? And watch in Fever and Dream. He said, I have a newfound outlook of Angel Reese, because she is nothing like people say. He says, one thing I got to give to her, he says, this ain't no eye candy. I'm happily married to a dime piece. It's super easy to just say, right? And when I read somebody's article, I'm going to give it to you just like that, and you can go pull it up, right? However, he's never, ever seen a player. He says, you look at the team, and she looks smaller than all the posts, because Angel is smaller than all the posts. She's not that tall, guys. She's tall to us, but she's not that tall to the W. But watching her, he said, watching her against the Indiana Fever bigs, she's small. But she is so resilient. She has the dominance of a beast. They could not move her. He said, I sat there and I watched, and I simply just could not believe how they just couldn't move her. He said she was unmovable. They could sling her. In order for them to move her, they would have to physically use 100% force, face her, and body slam her to put her down. She never stopped cooking. She never stopped moving. He said even when her teammates looked like they were defeated and they just did not fight through, Angel fought the entire game. Although she got a shot block, she got a shot miss, she missed a shot, she never stopped working. And these are the things that we need to see people go to the games, look at, and see, right? You got to see it for your own eyes, because sometimes when you're just looking at it from a TV standpoint or from a different view, highlights, you really don't know how well or how good a player truly is.
Well, Toni, I think many in the media had already known this, but the quote unquote directive, that wasn't their thing. Now, if things may be in transition or they've decided to put Clark on probation or whatever the situation that's going on now reporters are allowed to say these things because quiet is kept. And I think it was Duvall or someone who said this the other night. All it's projection. All of the things that they say about Clark, or I'm sorry, about Angel, actually about Clark. And all the things that they say about Clark are really Angel. Angel is really the hard worker. Angel is the one that gets along with people. Angel is the one that listens to her coaches. Angel is the one that wants to be the best. Angel is the one that's always willing to try something. Angel is the one that's willing to spend money to make herself better. Angel is the one that was self-made. She wasn't gifted a corporate deal by the WNBA because she was willing to do what they asked her to do. They asked Angel to do the same thing, as most of y'all know, and she said no. They told her, get rid of your manager, get rid of this, boom, boom, boom. And Angel said no. Because you know why? Because Angel already had her own motion. She already had her own money. And Angel's also a person who supports the women in the league. Now these same people are trying to pretend, and we all know it's a lie, that they got the CBA and this. These people never supported the CBA. All those Caitlin Clark sites did not support the women, did not support the CBA, did not support Unrivaled. That's a lie. None of those people supported that. But Angel supported that stuff from Giddy Up, which is one of the reasons why I feel that they were against Angel, because once Angel wasn't willing to sign their corporate deal that De'Erica Hamby talked about, where she said the league picks their own stars by giving you certain endorsements, Angel talked about it on her show. She said no. She said no, and they harassed Angel for that. Remember at the end of the episode, she said, I would like to meet Kathy one day. Kathy, you could tell, she didn't really want to get into it, but you can tell how the league has treated her. So the officiating shows that. And the way the media covers her shows that. So obviously we were in some type of impasse with all this negativity about Clark, because if Atlanta was going to look like the team, and Dallas was going to look like the team, and Minnesota was going to look like the team, well, Atlanta done laid a damn egg in Indiana by nobody showing up. So I'm glad this reporter said that Angel was still fighting and doing her thing and getting position and so forth like that, because she's a warrior. And anyone who follows Angel knows that she's a warrior. And if Ryan and Leash are defeated, that's a problem, because that's been the rap on them in the first place. That's why nobody can tell an Angel Reese fan that Ryan and Leash will be the undisputed kings of the team, because in order to be the king of the team, you also got to be a warrior. Yes. And that's not a knock against them, because when you look at Dallas and you look at Atlanta, there are things that are great with Ryan and Leash, and there are things that are great with Arike, Paige, and AZ, right? Rike and them, they can't go up and down the court the way Ryan and Leash can and score a bucket. And those can also shoot threes. The difference is the in-between game and the mid-range game. Paige, Arike, and to some degree AZ is way better in the mid-range game than Ryan and Leash. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of the business gets met. They're doing it in Dallas. We all watched the game last night. The mid-range game was crazy for Dallas last night, from Arike, from Shepherd, from Paige, but not so much with Atlanta. And they're going to have to figure that out. I know Brian Lewis is in the chat saying all they want to do is shoot threes and get layups, but you got to have an inside-outside game in order to win a championship. If not, then what are you going to do? Angel is getting doubles. She's getting triples. She's a willing passer. They gotta something has to give and something has to happen, because I'm looking at that Dallas team, and right now the way Shepherd is playing, it looked like Angel should have went to Dallas and not Atlanta.
Well, I'm gonna say this, right?
And even though Atlanta has more talent.
That's my favorite term. I'm gonna say this. That's my favorite term.
It's premature. Yes, it's a premature statement.
Yes, that's why I'm going with that.
Very premature. Very premature. Because Atlanta's got great talent.
I know, but I know everyone is kind of seeing some things and not in agreements with it, right? I think once these ladies come together, it's going to look different. I want to see that happen, and I think it eventually will. But before I say that it's the wrong place, before I say that Angel should have gone this place or that place, wherever Angel goes or whomever she plays for, she is always going to be her. I
And so
think that
far, Jose got more
Semesco,
balls than
yeah,
Smesco.
yes,
I'm sorry.
but he may have, but I think Semesco is going to get it together. We just let's give him time. Let's see what happens. And I know, you know, BD is
Jose
down
had
there
his crash.
saying,
Jose had his crash out,
yeah,
Toni. He had it.
yeah,
When's
he did.
Smesco gonna have his crash out?
Yeah, he absolutely will. It's coming. He's a calmer guy. And even when he was in a college sector, he was the same way. So I don't see him crashing out right now. They have this Zen thing going on for Angel and Rye, right? Because Rye is a crash out. Alicia Gray can say some things, but she's not truly a crash out. But between Ryan and Angel, the way that they could crash out, you absolutely got to keep them poised right now with the way the refs are calling the games, right? Because otherwise you're going to find them more, more and more foul trouble with text than anything else, right? The attack, and I'm going to say that the attack allegedly that is on Angel by not giving her the calls is completely a problem for the W. And this is where Semesco has to speak up. This is where the other players on the team has to speak up, right? You got to do this in the early part of the season, because if you don't do this in the early part of the season, then you are just hurting Angel to that effect, right? Allow Angel to do just what y'all said. We don't want her to have to worry about anything, nothing with the media, nothing outside of basketball, but just play the game that she loves and give her the peace and tranquility that she wants, right? But at the same time, you're going to end up having her freaking crashing out all over the place if you don't, because Semesco is one of those guys. And like I said, I've seen him through college, right? He just, this calm demeanor and not willing to flip the script on players is going to hurt him when it comes to players like Angel, right? Because once Angel get going, it's a different ball game, and I wouldn't blame her one way or the other, right? But in this game against Fever, and I'm going to finish playing this, in this game against Fever, it was just too many times where she did fight really hard, and she's jumping up and down in the air, and they didn't pass her the ball.
But
they preferred the three.
But also in criticism of Angel, the other thing I'll also say is, and if you tell me the paint was blocked, but I also saw her have Boston at the top on many times, and instead of her taking Boston to the basket, she just passes the ball laterally to one of the guards. Take Boston to the basket, make her foul you. You have an athleticism and speed advantage against Boston. I mean, you take every other big from the top to the hole, so why not?
Right. I don't think she didn't do it because of Boston. I just think she was in the realm of the game and trying to get the flow of getting the ball to the guards as she's told.
Right. She doesn't want to be selfish sometimes.
It takes her to get mad, right? Like she did. And when she and Okot came back into the game, and then they ended up tying the ball game, right? Because she kind of took a spell for 2 minutes of the game and she took over. So at any point in a game, Angel can take over and she can be a difference maker, right? But when she does that, those players then have to come back and feed her the way that they do. If they don't feed her, that's a problem for them, right? But when you look at it, MSL, because you brought that up, right? They had help side defense right there. They did not. When the ball goes in Angel's hand, and I want everybody to pay close attention to this when they play the Fever again, right? Because the Fever will come out with the same defensive scheme. They had help side defense. When the ball was not in Angel's hand, they played man to man. So you got to look at the switch of what they did. The dynamics of trying to keep Angel out of the paint or off the boards is every team's goal. She is the number one rebounder right now in the league, right? she's surpassing records all over. So when I'm looking at it, this is what I see. Yes, she could have taken Boston, right? There was actually one play where she did have Boston at the top, and she could have, but the help side defense was there.
Yeah,
So
Brian Lewis said the spacing wasn't there. Yeah.
the minute she put that ball on the floor, the defense collapsed in the paint. That's how it goes for Angel. And every team is running the same thing. So unless your guards are going to stay extremely wide away from the 3-point line to keep the spacing, then it allows the defense to stand off their man and be ready to close the gap inside that paint as quickly as possible. So it's important that when she plays that role, she's reading it right. We
I
as
believe
the
you.
fans kind of want to see her do so many great things, and it's gonna come. I'm still looking at it as the
Then
early
that means
season.
we need backdoor cuts and things like that, Toni. Because if Angel is doing her part and not forcing things, then that means the other players have to get into motion. If the coach is not going to call certain actions, then the players have to get into motion themselves so she can pass the ball to them, or at least the ball can be passed back to her, because right now the offense is stagnant. Now, I will admit that I think the Dream just looked lethargic, and I think we were all a bit concerned because it was, the other day that they were playing while Indiana had 5 days rest. So you will wonder what Atlanta team you were going to see, but you were hoping once they got in the flow, they would just play the game. And now you got Washington today. I don't know if it's in Atlanta or at Washington, but no matter how bad Washington plays, they're going to get up for the Dream, especially Shakira and especially Kiki.
They're looking
to get up
to take Angel down. It's
right.
It's keeping her out the paint. If you keep at this point, if you keep Angel out the paint, you struggle as a team, right? Because you don't have the second and third chance opportunities when a shot is missed that you said you brought her in here for, right? Because you got her playing corner to corner at the 3-point line. You got her stretched away out there. So you're looking for rebounds where sometimes you have Jordan Canada who has matched rebounds with her because she can't keep a little self out of there. Right.
But against Phoenix, when they played that game at home, they actually changed the offense and they had Angel, camp out on the perimeter of the paint. That's why I think that's game she had 15 shots, whatever it was, and she was posting up. And so it's funny, they have games where Angel is doing what we think she should, and they have games where she doesn't. So is that a coaching issue, or is that a player's issue? I guess ultimately it's coaching, right? Yeah, ultimately it's coaching, because you got to remind them. And the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about yet, Toni, even though they played a zone, didn't we all sit there and say Smesco is too laid back and too nonchalant and probably too decent to go after CC the way the last 2 teams were going? Because if he would have went after her, and Canada, who scored 30 against her last year, and Ryan and Leash would have went after her and got her into foul trouble. She was in foul trouble, but they could have really finished her off with 5-6 fouls and taking her out the game. But he didn't do that. And if they play against New York and someone like Johannes drops 40 on her, right, we're just going to all sit here and say, so Ryan and Leash and Jordan put up nothing burgers, and then Johanna drops 40 on them, right? I mean, it's just going to make you feel bad, because it's like they did not take it to Clark. And if they would have taken it to Clark and it works, okay, great. If it doesn't work, okay, fine. But Ryan and Leash didn't seem to have the energy and the enthusiasm, and their heads just didn't seem to be in it to just play ball, period. Mind you, take it to Clark like that, who by all means, they all have natural advantages. Canada's not as tall, but she's super fast. And Leash and Ryan, we don't even need to examine that.
Right. So let's finish Coach's soliloquy real quick. And then I can hit some of those articles. We're going to try to cut this to 2 minutes. We'll get to some of those. 2 hours. We'll finish her article.
It's going to be an unpopular opinion. Come at me, bro. But Ron Howard is one of the most frustrating superstars to watch in the WNBA because effort is consistent when it comes to my critique and opinion of.
It's gonna start up,
It
y'all.
stopped.
Yeah, it's the internet. No, mind my internet, y'all. Oh, mind my internet. Let me try to
Ron Howard's offense. I think that she settles for the 3-pointer because honestly, she can get downhill at will. There are not many players.
Let's do this. I'm gonna take it off of this one because Facebook seems to drag it. I am going to pull it from I have it up on X. X is better. So let me go to X. Let me pull that down. Let me go to X. X has a better faster outlook. Let's see. Let's go to it. There we go. Share and let me move forward on the video to where we left off. She was right at yep. Look, that girl's good. Here we go.
She can get downhill at will. There are not many players who can stay in front of Ron Howard. I don't think that she utilizes her strength of getting to the rim enough. This season, it's been a little bit more balanced. But in this game, my gripe isn't just the offensive end. It was the lack of effort defensively. And that's something that Atlanta prides themselves on. Ron Howard prides herself on. I didn't see the effort either way. There was no point in the game where I looked at Ron Howard and felt, man, she wants this game. She had 2 field goal attempts in the first half. To me, that is insane. I don't understand how Carl Smesco is not on the sideline yelling. If you don't want to play, get out of the way. It's funny because I critique Vic Schaefer a lot, but while watching this game, I felt like Carl, he needed a little more Vic. Because one thing about Vic, if you're not showing him effort, he's not afraid to bench you.
You just said that.
They did not get the effort from Ron. Okay, I can see maybe you talk at the half and you say you're going to come out with more effort. But when they didn't see it immediately, you got to go a different direction. You got to go with what's working. At the end of the first quarter, that lineup that had Angel Reese and Medina Akot, they were able to get buckets in the paint. They were able to hit the roll off the screen. Because one thing that Indiana was doing was they were hedging hard, which made it difficult to get that pass off.
Said that,
at the end of the first quarter, towards those last couple of minutes of the first, they were
you said that, Toni.
Done with the lineup that they had. Tahina Paopao came into the game. There was instant defense. Isabel Borlase, 4 points in 7 minutes. Atlanta got production from their bench, but for some reason, they reverted back to the starters. And when you look at the difference between the offenses, we look at Indiana's offense. They're one of the better offenses in the league. They're able to score a lot of points. But when you break it down, they're not doing anything complex. It's simple basketball. They are elite when it comes to using the screen. I think that Aaliyah Boston is one of the best screeners in the league. She is elite with using her body. Besides the screen, they do a lot of back cuts. And it's not just Kelsey Mitchell, although that is one of her bread and butters. You see it from Lexi Hull. You see it from Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah.
You've seen it from Caitlin Clark in this game. I saw Caitlin Clark rub her defense off of Aaliyah Boston screen, back cut to the basket. Simple basketball. There were moments where Atlanta could have done similar actions. Atlanta was spreading the defense out because that's what their offense starts to look like. Everybody around the perimeter. Atlanta had the defense spread out, but they were not moving. At that point, the paint is empty. Somebody has to back cut. Atlanta is going to continue to suffer if they can't find consistent offense. And it starts with just moving. I'm okay with being wrong, with having wrong takes. That really does not bother me. But as a fan,
there we go. That's the end of that. It's just a common denominator, right? Being able to do things,
movement.
And I said it before, right? You have to have constant movement. And most of the teams in the league, they run that motion offense. The motion offense, like I said, it allows you to have, there's about a million and one different views and avenues from the motion offense. I know because this is the offense that we love to use, even with the players that I had, right? So most of my players were all pretty much collegiate ready when they got there because we taught them from a pro level. We didn't teach them from a college level, right? If you want to make it in college, you have to have a pro style mentality. And so in order to do that, you have to run certain plays, give them certain avenues, put them in a bond and teach them how to get out of it. Right. And so this is one of those situations in this Fever game where they just ran their offense to the best of their ability. And like she just said, that is Mitchell's bread and butter. If you allow them, Boston, to set the screen the way that she does, right? She will set a screen. She has an extreme wide base, but then she takes and she will kind of take her hip, her butt, and kind of bump you a little bit, right? Or she extends herself. So when you get ready to rub the player off, it's already space between you and the defender, right? Because she's giving you, by the time CC or Mitchell curls off, they have a clear path the way that she does it. So she's absolutely right. Just when you're giving takes on this stuff, you got to be able to show this stuff in its entirety and give it what it means, the true meaning of why, right? But then you have to also turn around and figure out how do you stop that, right? So do you continue? Hey, I'm gonna push up before I get to the screen. I know the screen is coming, so why am I, the defender, the guard, giving space, right? I've already given space for my offender to be able to come off the screen anyway, because I'm gonna go under instead of going over the top. But different things like that is crazy. It says Boston and Hines Allen got away with illegal screens. Yes, they did get away with a couple, because remember, I called them out when we were calling the game. Y'all heard me call them out, and that was the only frustrating thing for me, right? Win, lose, or draw, I want to see the refs call the game meaningfully, right? Give the calls that need to be that you need to give. Like I said early on, Boston should have been sitting down a lot sooner than she was. Boston should have had freaking 4 fouls midway of the third quarter and should have been sitting down. And when she came back in, got that other foul, had 5, and now you sit her the majority of the fourth quarter. Hines too. Hines, somebody made a little joke. That guy that was in here earlier, I'm a CC fan, da-da-da. So, watch what you say. I'm going to say what I want to say, like I told him. I'm going to always say what I want to say, and I'm not going to change, and you or nobody else going to shut me up. If you think you can, come do it, and you can't, right? At the end of the day, we talk most of the time. So, meanwhile, Hines basically pulled Angel, and Angel went to the floor, but he said that Hines knocked her down. At the end of the day, Angel is so strong. Every single player says it, including Asia Wilson, right? It is tough to guard her because she's so strong. If you get a rebound from her, it's because 3 or 4 of you are in there slapping and popping her hands and knocking the ball free. If it's you and her one-on-one, MSL chat, she will kill you in the paint.
But here's the funny thing, Toni, that doesn't get discussed a lot. Not only is she super strong, but she's very, very quick. And at least with rebounds and jump balls and alley-oops, she jumps very high. So that's an indomitable combination of someone who's 6'4", who's very strong, who's very quick. You remember in the Phoenix game, some of them low post moves she made, they happen so quick. Like, she's way quicker than most of the posts that she's playing against, especially when she comes off that pivot foot. It's almost explosive. Just like on defense, when she blocked those shots, or she even remember the ball she saved at Phoenix, she was actually playing Mac. She was playing Mac. And then when the ball went towards the basket, she left Max and then went, and cause she's very, very explosive. But the thing is, a coach has to know how to utilize her, because Angel can essentially do anything on the court with the exception of shooting deep shots for now. But everything else on the court, she can do very well. She can play wherever you want her to play. So it's up to the coach to either allow her that freedom or play a system where her basketball IQ and her basketball skills and acumen, along with her athletics, can benefit the team. And right now, she's not even scratching 25% of what she could do on the court. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm answering AC. You're absolutely right, AC. This is what AC said. AC said, Toni, the reason why Boston couldn't get her sixth foul is because the Dream didn't go to Angel to go at Boston. They started shooting more threes. Yes, they were shooting threes and they were slashing to the basket and not dropping a dime. And the spacing at that time was there. So it's the tunnel vision of the guards for the Dream that is hurting the Dream, right?
Right.
If they come from having a tunnel vision, the Dream is going to be fine, and the Dream can possibly be the number one, number two team at the end of all of this. But they're going to have to figure that out amongst themselves.
And if they don't play smart ball today, it's going to be ugly. Because this team is too big. It's too big. If you don't play smart ball today, tonight's game is going to be an ugly game between Betts, Shakira,
and they're going to play
Kiki.
a lot of bets. Yeah, they're going to play a lot of bets because no, I'm sorry, Betts is ill. She has an illness, so she may or may not play. And then Citron is out with a foot.
Okay, well, but even Shakira and Kiki,
Bree Jones is
when Angel's in the game, they come to play.
Yeah, Kiki loves playing against Angel because she's like, I want to play against the best. She explained that last year during the All-Star game weekend. She loves what Angel do. She adores Angel. She's like, man, how can we keep up? Right? Every night it's a new record for her. Like, what do we do? Right? Her job is right now is making her mark. I think Kiki is doing well right now. Kiki rebounding is 10.5. Angel is 11.1. So tonight is just going to be a battle of her and Kiki just being able. How can Kiki stop her? Kiki, for the most part, has played out there on the three on the perimeter. So she hasn't been in the paint. Then she's been going back and forth with the amount of decisions they're trying to make. And then you got Shakira Austin. Angel by no means is afraid to play any player, and we know that. So with that being said, let's show this clip real quick.
Clock. Indiana retains the rock.
Look at that. Look at that. No tech.
I like the competitive.
No tech. No tech, right? In the ref face, cussing her out. It's just where do we go wrong here, y'all? Where did we go wrong?
Toni, the email that I just sent. Toni, the email I just sent you. Click on the first link. Click on the first link.
Okay,
it's the latest one. It's the latest one I sent at 12:18 p.m.
Okay, let me click on it. That's too funny, man. Come on. Oh, I don't mean to click that. I'm about to delete it. Let's hit the refresh.
Yeah, it was sent
button.
today, 12:18 p.m. Yeah.
Oh, it's 11 for me. It's 12 for you. That's right where you are.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I forgot. My bad.
No, you're okay. First link. Okay. Golden State.
Is that what it says? Golden State?
Yeah, it says Golden State. Yeah.
No. The one above that. No, the one above that. No, that's what I wrote below, but the link above is the one I'm talking about. Yeah, the link at the very top.
Oh, yeah, the one above, the YouTube one.
Yeah, that one. It should say Jason Whitlock exposed by Dan Dyke.
Right above that message. Let's see.
When y'all hear this, it's going to make y'all realize what's really going on. And that the Dream could have put her out to pasture for good. Now she's still treading life. Because he went in. And then all the little Clarkies who do the little videos, now there's a disconnect because the people who feed closer at the table, they're saying one thing, and the ones who get the scraps, the little internet people, they're trying to figure out what's going on. And then they came to the conclusion that, oh, Indiana must have won the the fight. And then now they ready to throw her over the coals. And if the Dream would have came in there and won and kicked their behind, and she would have shot 6 for 17 and a loss, they would have tossed her on the scrap heap for good. She's treaded water now, and it just may be a warning. We'll see. Only the next few games and the next few weeks and the season will tell us what they really want to do with her. But they're all coming in, and this dude, he knows the Indiana management, and he said they're the ones who was telling him that I can't. You have to play the video. I remember the word, but basically they're saying she's a cancer.
Yeah, I'm about to play it here. Let me get it up on the screen. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's put it up. All right, let me start it from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, let's get this screen here.
Yeah, it's moving, but we can't hear it.
I had to shrink it a little bit because it was clogging up my whole channel there. There we go. I had to get it where it's stretched out. Oh, I liked it at full screen. Y'all want it back on full screen? Y'all like my little TV screen? Tell me, chat,
the full screen
while
is cool. We just can't hear
trying to give you all the best. Yeah, the best of the best of my channel here. Let's get to the front of this. Here we go.
Check out what we're talking about. This is America's favorite diva, Caitlin Clark, getting talked to harshly by her coach, and all she does is bitch, whine, and moan and come back. Now, Caitlin Clark defenders, I was fouled. I wasn't fouled. She's being demonstrative, and frankly, this is just another example of her being a jackass. And we're going to talk about people criticizing me for this take, but I understand little Caitlin has the Children of the Corn wrapped up, and I understand a bunch of middle-aged guys can't stand me, so they love her. But you can all suck it. That's exactly right. You can all suck it. And everybody's making excuses. Everybody's saying, oh, my God, it's so in-depth. It's so hard. Poor Caitlin. She's in such a – no, just don't act like a dick. When you watch her, you get really tired of it. And people say, well, Jordan did that. She ain't Jordan. And Jordan didn't do dribbling down the court, bitching literally on every single call, bitching at her coaches, bitching at everybody. It got in depth. And we had to bring in the big guns. We had to bring in the lesbians, although I don't think Sue Bird's a lesbian. We had to bring in Reggie Miller's sister, Cheryl, and Sue Bird for an in-depth, nuanced discussion. Everything's nuanced. No, it's not. Quit acting like a dick, Caitlin Clark. And people wouldn't have to talk about you being a dick, and people wouldn't have to make excuses for you being a dick.
Right now, it's frustration, and unfortunately, it's boiling over.
But before we get to her, this guy is freaking hilarious when he talks, right?
And he knows the Indiana management. That's what I'm telling y'all. This is like they're done with her. They are done. If they're not done with her, it's a warning, and it gets worse. He has a dialogue with Jason Whitlock. Whitlock is begging him to keep the grift going, and he's telling Whitlock, it's over. She sucks. But I'll let you keep playing it.
Yeah, let's just keep bringing it because he's absolutely right. He's telling no lies here. Where them Caitlin Clark fans that ran up out of here? Y'all was in here strong earlier. Do come back. We are still here. We are still here. Look, my time with Keisha is put back. We'll be on Full Court Trio at 2 instead of 1. So I got some time. Let's go.
And it's being seen. It's one thing to have it behind closed doors, but when it spills over and when the coach has to basically say, hey, you know what, Caitlin, enough is enough. This is too disruptive. In and out, take a seat. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's frustration. I'm not like the best lip reader, but I feel like Stephanie White did say defense a couple times. And Caitlin Clark was in foul trouble this game. And obviously we know how things were being called. So I think it is a lot of frustration, but it's also like not that crazy. This isn't the first time we've seen this. It doesn't have some deeper meaning to it. I've had moments like that with coaches. I think it speaks to relationships. Player-coach relationships, like shout out Brian Agler. You could say anything to that man and you could keep it moving. And then I had other coaches where maybe you couldn't, and you have to learn each other in that way.
But you knew the line. But you knew the line when it becomes disruptive, and then when you and that's when even Kelsey Mitchell kind of chimed in and said, like, you need to go stand over here and let us just regain the calm in our huddle. When it becomes that disruptive to the entire team, somebody has to step in.
And so before I get back to him, that also reflects and says the same thing that old Crash Out Cunningham said when earlier this week, right after they talked to her, they interviewed Mitchell. You could clearly see that there's something going on in the camp. I don't want to read too much into it until it finally hits the head, and it's going to eventually. We have to figure out how to be better as referees and kind of get this under control, because I think it's this here, guys. I'm not going to all put it all on the coach, because the coach is doing her best, right? I'm going to put it on the organization. I'm going to put it on the referees, because if the refs can get control of this during game time situations when this is happening, then she is not afforded to go to the bench and take that crap out on her teammates and thereof the coaches, right? Now she has to figure out, how do I retreat my behavior? How do I figure out a way to stay calm and not be Crash Out Cinderella, right? It's the stepsisters and not Cinderella, on the other hand, to whom, hey, I took her glass slipper. She's not going to go anywhere. She's going to stay in a dungeon. It's kind of like one of those situations. She has to figure out a way. The refs, rather, have to figure out what they want to do while she figure out a way how to not continue to crash out on her teammate and her coaches. Someone said something early on also in the chat about, why didn't y'all say da-da-da? Why does it have to be that she jerked her? Why did the black coach put her hands on her? Well, when the black coach was trying to talk to her, she turned away and she just simply like, hey, calm down. Look, I'm touching. Yeah, she touched her. She didn't grab her. She didn't throw Caitlin around, for you fans that want to come out here and start throwing this soliloquy about a black coach. And you specifically stressed that word in the chat about the black coach. It doesn't matter if she black, white, purple, or green. If you're disrespectful and I'm talking to you and you turn and walk away and I'm like, hey, I'm talking to you, I'm supposed to I'm your coach. So now you've already showed everybody in the world that you don't have no respect for your coaches. You have no respect for your teammates, and you have no respect at all. It's about you, what you want to do, when you want to do it. And I'm happy when we're winning. I'm happy when I can make 12, 13, 14 assists. And I'm also happy when I'm able to be free enough to shoot the ball the way that I shoot the ball. We can call it emotion. We can call it passion, but this is not emotion. Her emotions got the best of it. This is not the passion of the game. This is being downright entitled BS from this young lady at the end of the day. And there's no way, if the eyes that's on the W right now, if that wasn't on the W, Caitlin would probably be gone out the league. I'm telling you right now. No coach would put up with that. No organization would put up with that. But because you got Kathy who's saying, we got the money, Horn Angel, they're these big stars, they got all of these followers, they got all of these people coming, we've lifted Caitlin here because she took the deal. We have Angel here because she chose not to take the deal. So she's going to get what she's getting while this one get completely.
But now it seems like Indiana has their own mind based off what this guy and other people like him are saying. Yeah. The team has made a decision, called an audible.
Yep. Look, that's what it is. It's coming to a head, y'all. It's coming to a head. And
wait till you hear what he said. He says a whole lot more.
Okay, let's finish listening to him.
Was considered by Jamel Hill to be great, deep, nuanced analysis.
First of all, two people being competitive, two people that really want to win, and
you know, I think a lot of those things happen all the time, and I know there's a camera on me, and that's.
No, they don't happen all the time. That's a lie. They don't happen all the time.
How it's going to be, but there's a lot of people out there in the media or on TV that they think they know a lot of things, and they're just blatantly wrong about a lot of things. And I ride for Steph. I ride for these girls. Steph has my back more than anybody. So, you know,
that's how you know she got the order.
Locker room, or
she got the word. She got the phone call.
Saw that, right? Yeah. She
got the phone call.
Girls. No, you had to see. She has to say that now because of what she's doing. Like you said, she got the call, right? Because
she got the call.
She's never said this before.
Nope. She's got the call. Whether the call is, because remember what Fee said. See, for y'all that don't remember, let's go back to what Fee said. Remember, during the CBA, Fee said, see, the Clarkies want you to believe that CC is self-made. She's not. She's not. Remember what Fee said? Fee said she went to Kathy, and Kathy basically was like, what that B talk about? We gave her this. What the hell she got to say? So if this came from the WNBA level, they said, look, you know, there's a morality clause in them contracts, right? Like if you keep acting up, we can yank all this stuff away from you overnight. It could be that, or it could be the team itself that just says, hey, we ain't getting no more black players here, at least the good ones. You know, we're having a shit show. We got to do something. And I'm saying this to be funny, but at the same time, it's true. The two lesbians got together, the Liv Dunn and Steph White, and they said lesbian power, you know, let's make this happen and let's make this work, because this fool talking about Caitlin Clark, she's going to drive us in the ditch, because the real Indiana fans don't care about Caitlin Clark. When I say they don't care, I'm not saying they don't like her. I'm just saying it's like if she wins, great. If she helps them win, great. If she doesn't, then put somebody else in there. It's the Clarkies that we think run the team, but they don't, because they don't spend money. Most of the Clarkies tell you they don't watch the sport. They don't like the sport. We don't support the sport. So maybe the WNBA has realized that, hey, these people not making us no money, because they're not supporting the sport. Why would you cater to someone who doesn't support the sport? Now, it could be something political, tied with MAGA and Republicans. That's another story for another day. But for right now, when this guy keeps talking, Toni, he claims that he's getting all this information from the team. So if this is the team talking, then it lets you know they've had enough for her.
Yep. Let's finish watching it, right? So we know what's taking place behind the scenes.
Our staff or our coaching staff thought twice about it. It's just another example of what everybody, all of you, want to blow up and make something that is just.
Excuse me, sir. How old were you when you made your first million?
We want to blow up. I gotta pull that down, y'all. Let's let that go. Let me skip that, because they'll come back from it. Ads they put in.
Lost, not in reality.
Bullshit. I mean, look, that's one thing to say when you don't see it publicly. Yeah, total horse shit. Somebody told her what to say. Somebody gave her, I ride with her. She has my back. She can't stand you, and rightfully so. Oh, I guarantee you. I mean, she knows that you got rid of Christy Sides, who was the coach of the year in the WNBA. She knows that you're a diva. Look, nobody is smarter in women's basketball than Steph White. I mean, nobody. Zero, zip, nada. And she knows that you are an absolute menace, and you don't win enough. That's the bigger issue. I mean, you're on a 500 team now. Are the Fever tough enough to work through this? They haven't been. They had their best run without Caitlin Clark. They did. Yeah. So, again, what a great country when this is what we're discussing. A woman who's never won nothing, playing in a league of angry African-American lesbians, for a coach that's trying to actually coach her, and she won't accept it, but we're all supposed to genuflect. Not me. No, not I. All right, here's Whitlock. He had some things to say about my position on Caitlin Clark. Let's hear from Whitlock.
Dan Dockage has been tweeting things anti-Caitlin Clark. And it's really frustrated me. It's because Dan lives in the Indianapolis area. He's Indiana guy, played basketball for Bobby Knight, former college basketball coach.
I'm just going to say this.
Jason wants him to keep up the grift, and he's saying, I'm not doing the grift no more.
Easy, stanky, funky looking. Man, first of all, go wash that gray right out of your hair. Go to the dentist, get your goddamn teeth fixed. Look, everything about you, Whitlock, is trash. Stop talking. Let's get back to it. I just had to say that.
I like Dan Dawkins. I get it. That Caitlin Clark throws tantrums and she's a diva. I get it. But we can work through that. We can get her in a better place as it relates.
Stop. Please stop. We're not working through anything. Now, this is where we can work through. This is all show by Whitlock. I like Whitlock. I do. I retweet him often. But the big fella here is doing, I don't know, theater. Because there is nothing that Whitlock, myself, or anybody is going to do as we to get Caitlin Clark anywhere. I watched Caitlin Clark on the red carpet. She has a whole crew around her. I mean, she's got bodyguard. There ain't nothing that anybody's going to say. And it isn't my responsibility to get her through anything. Let me look at the camera very clearly. I don't give a rat's ass about the Fever unless they make a run in the playoffs and my daughter's in town and I'll take her, my wife, my stepdaughter to the game. We aren't getting her. This is pure theater by Whitlock. We're not getting anybody through anything. Go ahead. What are we doing?
What we talking about here is what he said.
You got to see the overall big picture. And I know Dan, I don't know how old Dan's kids are, but again, he's a former college coach. He played for Bobby Knight. I get why Caitlin Clark's theatrics and antics on the court bother Dan, but we got to see the big picture here. This is about whether
what the hell is the big picture? I'm gonna finish listening, but chat.
Basically, a group of lesbians are going to convert her, are going to convert an alleged straight woman. And then the guy basically says, that's horseshit. That's horseshit. My only issue is the girl sucks. She throws tantrums. She can't play and the team is better without her.
Wow. Okay, so we're just throwing that word. They just basically just throwing that word out there. Enough for all these females.
And then they make some funny ass analogies about Michael Jordan, the Jackson 5, etc. They coming up though. Y'all gonna think it's hilarious.
There you go.
Young heterosexual women are going to be allowed to compete in basketball without all of this pressure to transition to an alternative lifestyle.
Wait a minute. I gotta stop it again. This fool, what?
He just be making stuff up, Tony, because he can't deal with the real issues that the girl is a train wreck.
Yeah, he didn't even know what to say. Guys, look at him. He's finding words. This is my first time seeing this, and I'm telling you, he paused because he don't know what to say. And then he looks in the camera like, yeah, I said it. Okay, yeah, that's a trigger word. Okay, I got about 100 more people that just came in the chat because I said that trigger word. And everybody in chat like, yeah. Let me get the money before I move on. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, y'all go ahead and throw that up in there. Appreciate those, right? Put those, get some of them super chats going. Let's get some of them super chats. Thank you. I appreciate you there, June Brown. Look at that for the $1.99. Thank you for the super chat. Let me get back to this clown up here because I just had to listen to what he said. It is off the freaking chain because just the look on his face in this video, y'all. You gotta see that it is just crazy. Let me go ahead and put the comments on the stage so that way I can see the comments. I can enlarge this a little bit. There we go. Yeah, he's an idiot, but okay.
This docket, Clark has been in Indy 3 years.
Now you're talking about two different things. Now you're talking about how she acts as a diva, and now you're talking about the gay lesbian thing. Now, I get it. You want to see the big picture. Let me explain to you the big picture. The big picture is her ending up as the best player ever, as people tell me she's supposed to be. That's the big picture. And her team winning a championship. She's not going to change her sexuality, and the angry African lesbians aren't going to change their opinion and their abuse.
Right.
So, having said that, you're talking about two very different things. Clark a diva, angry African American lesbians abusing, if that's the word you want to use. Go ahead. This is a great tweet by me.
Year one, Christy Sides was not a good enough coach. Fired. Now Steph White, not good enough. Soon fired. Only time the Fever have been any good is with Clark out. Ain't the coach's fault. Dan, think this through, and I want the audience to think it through, because they have a better record over the last 2 years.
Yeah, he absolutely knows it's true. That's why
knows it's true. He just don't want the grift to stop that Clark is so good. But the dude is going to throw it in Whitlock's face and say, yeah, the team is better without her. And then Whitlock admits it himself, y'all.
I'm telling you, you gotta watch it, y'all. It is hilarious because his body language.
It's a circular firing squad with the Clarkies going on this past week.
It speaks the story. Let's finish. It's crazy.
Clark out of the lineup, and they advanced in the playoffs last year with Clark out of the lineup. They won the NBA Cup or the WNBA Cup with Clark out of the alignment. You know who that indicts? They are better
can't be Clark
without Caitlin Clark.
Can't be Clark.
That's
come on, baby.
Why you fire Stephanie White and the entire organization.
Watch his rebuttal.
That is why.
Hold on.
What? Did he say fire Stephanie White?
No, but he cooks. No, he cooks Whitlock. Let it play. He cooks her.
What's going on, my boy Goon? Man, I needed you in here early. That's okay. William Goins had my back. I had some trolls in here, and I needed you to fix some things, and you wouldn't even hear. You little minion.
Hold on. The dumbest human beings, I've always said it, when it comes to actual sports are guys like Jason Whitlock and sports writers, because they don't know jack shit. It indicts one person and one person only, and that is Caitlin Clark. Look, Whitlock's never been in a locker room for real. He says he was some kind of football. No, he's never been in a locker room for real. Maybe to sneak a peek, maybe to get an autograph, maybe to ask a question. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is, it is a massive indictment how the other players around Clark play, are comfortable, are more competitive. When her ass isn't in there taking bad shots, being a pain in the ass, not guarding anybody, it isn't an indictment, and I'll let him finish here, of everybody else. It's an indictment of Clark, period. And literally every human being that's ever played and ever coached at any kind of level understands this. Continue, my friend.
If the Chicago Bulls were better without Michael Jordan, then Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause and the entire Jerry Reinsdorf.
Don't worry, he come back and roast them, Tony. You don't have to pause.
He's making things up, and I get it. You want to use me because when I speak on Caitlin Clark, I mean, it blows up, and this blew up for Whitlock. I get it. You want to use me. I do. I get it. I promise you I do. I mean, little media guys in Indianapolis have been using me for years. I get it. But now we're going back 40 years. 40 years. See, the idea that if the Bulls were better without Michael Jordan, that again would tell me that Jerry Krause, it would tell me clearly that Phil Jackson has a better team around Michael Jordan, and they should be kept. They have a good team, really good team around Michael Jordan. They're doing a hell of a job, Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause. It tells me that the star player is holding the team back. That's what it tells me. Now, we can go back 40 years. All right, let's go. Now we're going to Larry Bird. But if
this is why the Dream should have beat the brakes off of them.
and you're playing the same teams, and you're better
She
without
would have
the
been
star
done.
player, that means your team is good enough. That means your coach is good enough. That means your general manager, the guy that bought the groceries, as Parcells says, is good enough. It means because people don't understand this, they've never played, never coached, have never been around a team on a daily basis. It means that in all areas, the star player is dragging them down. Now, understand, in basketball, you have shoot-arounds.
Yes.
You go back to the hotel. You have meals. You travel. It's long, even though this is only 42 games. It isn't the on the court that drags it down, Jason.
No.
It's the off the court. It's the pain in the ass. It's the everyday being like, what the is this idiot going to do today? Now, I don't say that publicly because you can't criticize Caitlin Clark if you're on the team, but that's what it's become. It's last year, you see Caitlin Clark when she was injured, all with her girls, Lexi Hall and Sophie Cunningham. You don't see that anymore, do you?
Oh,
I don't just make shit up, Jim.
Wait.
I don't.
On this.
I tell you exactly.
Hey, MSL.
And it still gets better. It still gets better. Wait till they start talking about the Jackson 5.
Hey, this is the best video you could have sent me. This is hilarious. But it's all facts. It's all true. So he's coming out of the silly MAGA role term, right? And he is standing up for what is right. Let me tell you something. I like this guy, right? I always like his takes. We know he's crazy. We know who he roots for, what the team was that he was standing business on, right? But at the same time, he's an analyst, right? He's giving you the straight facts of what we're looking at now, which is out of control. And at some point, you got to fix this, right? You got to fix this because this can't go on for another year, let alone this full season before these ladies start the break. Now it's going to look like, the ladies are all against Caitlin Clark, but they're not. They're simply against the referees and what the organization is allowing y'all to let happen when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Let me get back to it.
Exactly. Because I know what's going on the inside. You know what's going on from being a little reporter that goes in there and tries to get in there and do whatever little reporter guys do, or big reporter guys do in your case. But anyway, continue.
You fire everybody. If the Lakers were better without Magic Johnson, you fire everybody because you're running the wrong system. If you've built a system that prefers for Caitlin Clark to be out of the lineup or works better with Caitlin Clark out of the lineup, you built the wrong system.
That is incredibly ignorant.
Yep.
That just showed he doesn't know jack shit about actual basketball.
Oh, gosh.
The fever system. It's always three things with media guys: system, adjustments, substitution patterns. A guy like Whitlock and the rest of the report, and I like Whitlock. I really do. I don't know him, I never met him, never talked to him, but I like him. I like what he does. But he showed exactly what I've always said about reporters. They don't know, so there's three words they use. The system. He wouldn't know their system from his ass. Adjustments. They don't make the right adjustments. Oh, really? Okay.
I'm like him. I'm laughing at myself. Boy,
substitution patterns. Oh, man. It's beautiful. No, the whole system is set up for Caitlin Clark, but that doesn't mean that others don't play as well.
Right. We're better with Michael Jackson as a backup dancer than a singer.
There you go.
Joe Jackson needs to be fired as the manager of the Jackson 5.
Yeah, that's right.
And your mama
is Michael Jackson.
Let me tell you something. Whitlock's mama should have put him back in the wound because this man makes no sense.
No, because you know what's so funny? We've all heard artists over the years say, we thought we had a record. We had this record we liked a lot better, but this one ended up being a hit. So it would be like the record company saying, nah, we think this one is better. So play this one even though this one is, even though this one to be number one for the next 2-3 weeks, the next 2-3 months, take it down so you can play the one we want that no one's interested in. Or a situation like Diana Ross and the Supremes, right? Say what you want about Diana Ross and the Supremes, right? We know she was doing her thing with Barry, but for whatever reason, the group had 10 number one hits in a row with the chick who they said was not the best looking one in the group, who didn't have the best voice, but you think they was going to change it after 10 number ones in a row? Wait, that's just the way it works. It's like, you think they were going to go, well, no, we like Mary Wells better. She's prettier and has a better voice. We like so-and-so better. Cynthia, it just doesn't happen that way. If it works, they're going to stick with it. If it works, they're going to stick with it. It just means, so if you find out that the team plays better without the quote-unquote star, you know what the team's going to do? They're going to trade that star and get 3-4 picks back for that star or players that can make their team even better.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And look, you're right, June Brown. They're paid ops. Of course. Y'all know Whitlock's getting paid for this. Y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all know
he even laughs and smiles, like you said, knowing that he's full of it. Yeah, but he get him back on that Jackson 5 thing, though. He gets him back on that Jackson 5 thing.
Yeah. But look at him. I mean, he don't know what to say half the time. Man, go get on some
he
Slim
knows
Fast
it's a grift. He knows it's a grift, Toni. Because I heard him 2 months ago acknowledge that Caitlyn is not as good as they think. He acknowledged she wasn't as good as we thought she was, that she's a brat, she's a this, but he keeps pushing the grift because he know there's a bunch of idiots. And if you click the video right below after this one, Keep the Vision guy, the one who Whitlock has had on his show, talk with him, he's now crashing out over hearing Dan Dyke roast Whitlock.
Let's finish.
Knowing that Dyke is in with the Indiana management. So now all the idiot Clarkies think that this is 100% how the team feels. And apparently Andy Costabile did an article that's referenced, I think, in the Keep the Vision
trying
thing.
To get in.
Right. And Costabile and Liv Dunn of Indiana, she actually liked and posted the article by Andy Costabile, where Andy Costabile, in the article, they took shots at CeCe, and Mick Talks Hoops talked about that too. That's amongst the links. So I sent you a treasure trove of stuff on these idiots.
Yes,
Toni.
man. We're gonna have to do a part 2 deep dive into just the trolls, and
they're having they're in a circular firing squad right now. And if the Dream would have won that game in Indiana on national TV, they would have buried them 6 foot under, and they may not have been able to come back out.
They would have. That's why this was a must win for the Fever. But to allow freaking Mitchell to ball out of control like
now
that
they get it. Now she gets a lifeline for another week or two, depending on what happens in the season.
Right. Here we go.
Okay.
Needs to be fired as the manager of the Jackson 5.
Yeah, that's right.
Caitlin Clark is Michael Jackson. She's the one that moonwalks and draws the crowd. So you know what you do? You write songs that fit Caitlin Clark. Not Jermaine.
So hold on. So you think Whitlock does that Stephanie White isn't setting the entire offensive system up, which she 1,000% has. But it doesn't mean others don't play. It doesn't mean others can't thrive. It doesn't mean others can't fill a role. I mean, damn, Stephanie White should be given an extension because her system is so good that when people actually buy into it, don't take bad shots, don't act like divas, the team is really good.
Right.
It is really good. Without, you mentioned it, they win things, they do all this without her. The system's great. The star is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And they haven't won enough with the star. He mentions Michael Jordan. He mentions Bird. He mentions Magic. He mentions the Jackson 5. All those won at incredible levels with those guys. Fever haven't won shit. Nothing. Zero, zip. Not one thing with Caitlin Clark. A little bit different. Not a system. The system is great. Like, I don't get this shit off of a bathroom wall and take a piss and say, you know what? Caitlin Clark's a diva. I talk to people inside the organization. I got people everywhere. I do. I mean, you can make fun of me, whatever, but I do. And what I'm telling you is 1,000% true. Danny, you called her a complete pain in the ass diva. I did. Because she is. And that's not me talking. That's a direct quote from people in the Fever. We really need you to rally around Caitlin, not join the flock trying to bury her. I ain't trying to bury her. I ain't joining no flock. She needs to grow up. But she needs to be properly supported throughout that. Hey, man, my support don't matter where the shit. This is all theater by Jason. Jason, congrats, Jason. I think this is your most popular post in a long time, and I get it. Subscribe to Don't At Me with Dan Dockage right here.
Man, yo, that was good. That was a good one, y'all. That was a good one. When I say he fired, he fired. You definitely can't come like.
And this guy lives in Indiana. He used to play with Bobby Knight. He was a coach. He's a media guy. He lives in Indiana, and apparently he's had a long relationship with the Indiana Fever management. So the next video, if you have the time, or if you click on it, is that guy Keep the Vision. Whitlock's little butt boy, he's now responding to what this guy said, and he's freaking out because he feels it's coming directly from Indiana. So now they're all freaking out that the Caitlin Clark thing is over, and they're all trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do with their lives now if this girl is buried, because they're not calling her the savior and they're trying to reduce her role. And reducing her role,
boy,
like he said, it's not that you have her scoring 5 points. Reducing her role is just playing team ball. That's all that means. But they would rather have her score 30 points, taking 30 shots.
That's all it means.
With nine turnovers, and as long as she puts up stats, that's all they care about. While White and the team is trying to win and have a better team.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Let's get to it.
Oh, let me look to make sure you have it. That's the one that would say, hold on.
I have it.
Oh,
It's
it says,
right here.
Keep the Vision. Right. It's right. It's the link right underneath. It's over. Keep the Vision.
Yeah. I'm about to play it right now. Y'all ready, chat? Hey, this is fun. Why do we even care? What? Oh, look at there you go, Goon. Let's figure it out. Let's see. We gotta see how all this plays out. And we're gonna have some.
Well, it also helps us to know that there are cracks in the whole Caitlin Clark thing, and there's a way to push her aside if we keep the foot on the neck. So all the inequity and all the problems that we've complained about, we do have an opportunity. Because to be fair, even though Indiana did get some calls, we all thought that game was going to be way, way, way worse. It was for the most part properly officiated. It's just that the Dream didn't show up as Smesco didn't show up.
That's absolutely right. I'm not going to take anything away. And I said that in the beginning. I'm not taking away anything from this game when it comes to Indiana Fever, right? Indiana Fever came
They did what they had to do, and the Dream didn't show up.
Supposed to do, and the Dream absolutely just did not show up for that game.
Yeah, the officiating was way better than we thought, if we're going to be honest.
Yes, to be honest, yes. Do we think that they should have given Angel some more calls? Yes, but it's not uncommon for the refs to just not give Angel calls until Angel crash out in one of those post interviews, right? It is what it is. We'll see what happens moving forward. The Dream just has to be better when it comes to that. And no, by no means whatsoever is anyone leaving a Dream. You see my page, you see my screen. Y'all got to be tripping. Let's listen to what he got to say.
I told you guys, Lynn Dunn has come out.
Come on, YouTube.
And let it be known she is clearly a.
Here we go with the circling, y'all. It's circling. It's coming.
Part of the Caitlin Clark sabotage that is permeated.
Come on, it's permeating from where? Let's restart this because this stop. This internet stuff is just ooh-wee. Come on, internet. Let me pull that down. Let me pull that down until I could get that
Her
moving.
mouthpiece saying everything
There we
she
go.
wants. Hell out of there as quickly as possible.
I'm sorry. Let me start it over because I was trying to get this stuff together here.
You might be the leader of all of it. We got to get into it. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification and hype.
Ooh, this internet, boy, is something. I'm freezing right now, y'all.
Yeah, it just acts up when it feels like
appreciated as always. Now,
if it doesn't play, and hopefully it.
Lynn Dunn has exposed herself.
Yeah.
Lynn Dunn is using Dan Dockage as her.
Lynn Dunn is one of the executives in the Indiana Fever management
mouthpiece and as her voice to get her message out to the public when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Now, this Lynn Dunn, Dan Dockage relationship goes over a decade strong. Before we even get into it, take a look at this. Dan Dockage frequently features Indiana Fever GM Lynn Dunn as a guest on the Dan Dockage Show to discuss WNBA. Now, he's been bringing her on for quite a long time, and even this is recently. This 21 hours ago, he said, "Love Coach Dunn." Okay. Now, he's already revealed. He's going to reveal that he is getting all of his information directly from inside the Indiana Fever front office and organization. And you know it's coming from Lynn Dunn. This is a relationship for over 10 years. You think they're not talking? Take a look at this right here. Before he got to talking crazy, let's listen to him validate where he's getting this from.
A little bit different. Not a system. The system is great. Like, I don't get this shit off of a bathroom wall and take a piss and say, you know what? Caitlin Clark's a diva. I talk to people inside the organization.
I talk to people inside the organization. We know you have over a decade-long relationship with Lynn Dunn. We know that. We know that y'all tight. You just confirmed it on social media. Love Coach Dunn. Come on. This is Lynn Dunn. Take this video here as Lynn Dunn talking to you directly, because that's what this is.
Take a piss and say, you know what? Caitlin Clark's a diva. I talk to people inside the organization. I got people everywhere. I do. I mean, you can make fun of me, whatever, but I do. And what I'm telling you is 1,000% true. Danny.
So you hear him saying it's 1,000% true. Everybody, the organization hates Caitlin Clark. The organization wants nothing to do with her. Now watch this. This is Lynn Dunn talking to you. Remove his face. Put Lynn Dunn right there.
You don't see it publicly. Yeah, total horse shit. Somebody told her what to say. Somebody gave her, I ride with her.
This is in regards to how Stephanie White feels about Caitlin Clark now. Remember, Caitlin Clark said, I ride with Coach White. He's going to tell you exactly how Lynn Dunn and Stephanie White are feeling. Remember, this is Lynn Dunn talking to you directly, people.
She has my back. She can't stand you, and rightfully so.
He just said Stephanie White can't stand Caitlin Clark, and rightfully so.
Oh, I guarantee you. I mean, she knows that you got rid of Christy Sides, who was the coach of the year in the WNBA. She knows that you're a diva. Look, nobody is smarter in.
Come on. Yeah, he's this guy here, y'all. He's another
women's basketball
idiot.
than Steph White.
That is a lie. That is a lie.
And about 20 idiots made videos responding to this one guy
saying Caitlin Clark's a diva. Stephanie White can't stand her. You got Christy Sides fired. And Stephanie White's is the smartest basketball mind in the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sub your best player out in the first 3 minutes of the first quarter is one of the smartest things in the world.
And these guys are so dumb, they never acknowledge anything that Caitlin Clark needs to grow or do better.
I mean, nobody.
Never,
they're just mad. They're just mad that she's getting trashed. That's all they care about.
Absolute menace.
That's all they care about.
And you don't win enough. That's the bigger issue. I mean, you're on a 500 team now. Are the Fever tough enough to work through this? They haven't been. They had their best run without Caitlin Clark. They did. So, again, what a great country. When this is what we're discussing, and she won't accept it, and lesbians, for a coach that's trying to actually coach her, and she won't accept it, but we're all supposed to genuflect, not me. No, not I.
Genuflect means kiss their ass.
Here's Whitlock. He had some.
Absolutely.
So you already heard him say, listen, nobody wants anything to do with Caitlin Clark and this organization. This is Lynn Dunn talking to you. No, none of us want anything to do with Caitlin Clark and this organization. She's a menace. She's this, she's that. This is
and
Lynn
they
Dunn
believe this, Tony, and they believe it came from management, so they are defeated.
Yeah, they don't know what else
setting the entire offensive system up.
Yeah, they're defeated. Whether it's true or not, these people feel defeated.
But it doesn't mean others don't play. It doesn't mean others can't thrive. It doesn't mean others can't fill a role. I mean, damn, Stephanie White should be given an extension because her system is so good that when people actually buy into it, don't take bad shots, don't act like divas, the team is really good. It is really good. Without, you mentioned
the
it,
other
they win
day,
things, they do all this
when
without
they beat the dream.
This is Lynn Dunn talking to you. This is exactly how.
Go ahead. I'll pause it so you get that soliloquy out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is like what people don't understand and what they don't get is that these guys, like the ones who are on the internet, they're not sitting at the table with the team or with the WNBA. This guy, based off everything we hear, sits at the table at least with the team, right? Because they all say he's familiar with the team and the management and so forth. And whether he's telling the truth or not, he's saying, this is what they told me. So now the little internet guys who get paid to talk about this nonsense, they're all freaking out. But the real thing we'll find out is if or when they stop getting paid to do this, one, that will let you know what's happening with the CC thing. And two, some of them will probably start talking about it because now you got to find another way to make money. I'm not saying that's where we're at. I'm not saying that's where we're at now, but just the way they're all acting, they're all freaking out. I mean, they're like, you know, John the Liquidator, Mitch Talks Hoops, like Adrian Ross, like all these fools made videos, and Annie Costabile made an article, and they're trashing CC in the article, and Indiana management linked and, you know, it okayed the article, so they're freaking out about that. Those are all in that one email I sent you, Tony. So whether it's later or in the future, you can, you know, peruse them and then see what you want to talk about.
We're gonna have a part 2 to this because, and I want to label it.
They're all trashing her. They're all trashing her. They're all trashing her at the same time. USA,
which is crazy.
Right. That's why the other day when you guys were talking about Carrie Champion, I was like, we are way beyond Carrie Champion because they could always just say she's a hater black girl. But now you got the white woman at USA Today, Nancy Armour. You got this guy. You got Annie Costa. You got Pitbull, Annie Costabile. They're all coming at her in separate directions. And when that happens all at once, that means only one thing. Somebody got a phone call and they put out a decree. The only question is, are they just wanting her? Like Bill Cosby said, I brought you in this world, I can take you out. In her case, like the Nafisa Kathy thing, I gave you all this stuff, which we all told them, Tony. We all told them this girl was created. She was created. And when Fee said that, they didn't want to believe it. But Kathy said, we made you, we can take it out. So the only question is, are they wanting her to say, get up and act right and get your stuff together? Or are they already in decline? We'll only find out over the course of the next few weeks and the rest of the season. But the fact that all these white right-wing conservatives that was glazing her to high heaven are coming down her so hard on a flip, that means somebody got the phone call and put the directive out. That girl is not golden anymore. And I don't think she'll even play in LA because who the hell would want her? Now, the one thing I will say is that Jeannie Buss is an idiot because she's the one that wanted Cameron Brinks instead of, even though Magic and Kurt wanted Angel because she thought she better fit the California lifestyle, and she's the idiot that bought 41-year-old LeBron that decided to keep him because she just wanted to hobnob with LeBron, knowing that the Nika can't play no more. She should have just let his ass go. So she may be dumb enough to bring Caitlyn there, but that would be a shit show and a disaster equally as well. But the reality is nobody wants her, because now you're putting up with all this mess to an uncoachable player.
Yeah, nobody don't want a player that they can't coach, because that's why they have coaches, right? And players get better based on the ability to be able to listen.
Oh, and the last thing, Cody, real quick before I forget, and to all the Clarkies who want to talk this nonsense, this whole money stuff about her, it's all out now. It's all BS. You got a team in Portland that's filling 19,000 people a game with a bunch of no names. You got Golden State filling 18,000 with no names. You got Toronto filling whatever their size is with a well, they do have Marina and Slim, but for the most part, no names. This league don't need Caitlyn. They don't. They don't, because they're filling up seats without her.
Yeah, they're filling up seats now without her. I think when the time of when CeCe and Angel came, because they brought so much, was a time that they did need the popularity of the two of them. But now that Angel has settled in, right? Angel just wants to just be a player when she's in uniform.
But look at what her move for Atlanta did with all the number one jerseys and all that other stuff.
I know, I get that. But what I'm saying is, even though CeCe is a crash out, 100% a crash out. I mean, roll over, crash out. I don't know how many times the vehicle has to roll over for her to stop crashing out. She crashed out that bad, right? But not the type of fans that came with her is what the W needed. And I think now that the W has settled in with all the popularity they have going on, they're all seeing it now that we love the fact that the popularity is there, but we don't want this. We don't want the hatred. We don't want the all we want to do is dominance of CeCe and nobody else.
But but Toni, the other part to add that could have added to this also, if you remember, in both Golden State and Portland, and especially Golden State because of the Tiffany Hayes thing, she was being lustfully booed, and people in the stands had stuff about her being a flopper. And in Portland, you had fans that were holding signs saying, "We stand with Barbie, we stand with Barbie," and whatever else they were saying about her. So nobody likes her. Even the people, even half the fans in Indiana don't like her. So what the Clarkies are saying is one thing, but the reality is something else. And her whole persona is unraveling right in front of her. The only question is, are they going to try to save her? And or is she going to try to save herself? Or is she just going to end up being a crash out? Because now she's being treated the way she should be. If you don't shoot well, if you don't take good shots, then you're going to sit or we're going to bench you. Now, it's easier said than done, so let's see what happens. But the fact that this guy is saying this publicly, and he's saying I'm getting it from the team, that means that means Indiana is not afraid to let them know this girl got to start behaving.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jacob, let's give you a minute before I go ahead and finish the video. You got a lot of noise in the background.
What up?
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in because I'm at work, but I finished and I couldn't just help but to jump in on this. So, first of all, I just want to ask, what took these folks so dang long to realize that Caitlyn Clark is actually a spoiled brat?
Yeah. We got you. Take your time. We got you. Take your time. This is Jonathan Gonzalez, y'all. Jacob, are you still there? Well, I think he had to pause for a second. He's at work, so he's coming in with us while he's at work. In the meantime, before Jacob finished, go ahead, big dog. What you got?
I just wanted to make sure that I was on the right topic. Were y'all talking about the previous Dream game, or are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Oh, we off of that.
We've moved from the Dream game because that's what the majority of the show is about. Now we're going into some clips as to what is being said out there in continuance with a question that was asked. I think, what was it, 2 lives ago?
Okay, because first I just want to give my quick take on the game, the previous game, because a lot went wrong for the Dream that they could have fixed. A lot of this is on Semesco, right? First off,
Right, of course.
you didn't attack CC or Kelsey Mitchell on the defensive end. Number 2, the Fever played a lot of zone and drop coverage. You giving Angel Reese the ball at the 3-point line, and people are just dropping, pretty much forcing her to do dribble handoffs. And why that's bad basketball is because they were doing that, they got out rebounded. You should never get out rebounded by the Indiana Fever under no circumstance, especially if you the Atlanta Dream. That's number 2. Number 3, the 3-point shooting. If your shot's not falling, you're supposed to go to the basket. That's just basic basketball 1-on-1. That's not something that can be coached. That's just something you're just supposed to know as a player. Okay, my shot not falling. Let me get myself into a rhythm. Let me go to the basket. Maybe I'll get fouled. If I see the ball go in at the free throw line, maybe that'll, get me started. That's number 3. They didn't do that. Number 4, they took Okot out prematurely. She was cooking and you pull her, but yet you leave Pow Pow in the game. She got 16 whole minutes and scored 0 points. That I couldn't understand the dynamic of that. And number 5, overall, you're gonna have to pick a poison. It's either you're gonna have AR in the post or you're gonna have her bringing the ball up. They need to pick one and stick to that. But this AR, getting the ball, having Ryan or Jordan Canada bring the ball up and then giving AR the ball at the top of the 3-point line when they not motioning and running around like they supposed to, it's 4-on-5 basketball. If you notice, every time she got the ball at the top of the 3-point line, whether it was Aaliyah Boston or Sophie Cunningham or Lexi Hall, they would be at the free throw line. They're either 1, daring Angel to shoot the ball, or 2, trying to make it hard for her to get to the basket, because it's harder to get to the basket from the 3-point line than it would be if she got the entry pass from the foul line. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of things went wrong, and Semesco just gonna have to pick a poison. It's either you want her in the post or she's bringing the ball up and she's the first person to touch the ball, and then the offense revolves around how she gonna distribute the ball or whatever. But you got to pick one.
Of course,
all this middle ground shit, that shit not gonna work. And then on top of that, you got to keep in mind Bree Jones is on her way back, so that's gonna change the dynamic of the offense and the rotation too.
Yep.
When she comes back, that's going to send Naz Hillman to the bench, right? So that dynamic is going to change as well. So for the last game, that's my take on the last game. Hopefully this next game, they have learned some things from the last game, but we'll see. As far as the Caitlin Clark stuff, MSL, I'm with you with everything you said, except the part that the league don't need her. Of course the league need her.
No, that's not what I meant per se. No, what I mean is, I know you believe in stars, and I don't have a problem with that. And thank you for allowing me to respond. No, what I'm saying is, they don't want to put up with, as Toni kept saying, all the stuff that they allowed her to get away with as far as the refs and as far as the glazing. One thing we know about you, big dog, you've been watching the league for a long time. You support all the players, and I know even you were aghast at some of the stuff that they were saying about her or Angel or anyone else of these young players who you feel have to earn their keep. Now, we know she's a streaky shooter. We know she's an inefficient shooter. We know she's an inefficient ball handler, etc. Doesn't mean people don't like her, but it's just the glazing. And just like that dude, the bald-headed dude that was talking, basically he was like, she can't do this, she can't do this, she can't do that. They can't win this. We just want more honest coverage. That's it. Because before that, they were telling us she was Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain all wrapped into one. And you and I know that was not true.
Oh yeah, we all know. Listen, if we gonna act like we don't live in a political climate that's conducive for this kind of behavior, we're all kidding ourselves, right? All of this has a racial undertone to it. All of this has a political undertone to it. But again, race baiting sells. Whether y'all want to like it or not like it, there's always going to be an audience for it. So the reason why they have to push Caitlin Clark, because they making a ton of money from it. They're not going to just throw away all that money.
Are they really though, Big Dog? Not to cut you off, because no, the reason why I bring it up is because last year she only played 13 games. The ratings were higher in regular season and the playoffs. The playoff ratings were higher. And the attendance was higher.
Yeah,
and
we got to look at numbers all the way across. Not
and the
just
team actually accelerated, because as you know, Big Dog, once you have a groundswell of something, it's because let's be honest, the NCAAW gets like 3-4 times the ratings that the WNBA gets. So the reality is, the players are already there. The interests are already there. We just have to transfer it from college to the WNBA. And that's what Angel and Caitlin and Flage, etc., and the crop that's going to come. So technically, I know what you're saying, but we really don't need it, because the NCAAW has 3 to 4 times the ratings, if not more, than the actual WNBA. So all we need is the folks who watch the NCAAW to migrate to the WNBA. And if all this nastiness and racism is a problem, I think that's going to keep certain people away, because remember, the right-wing guys that claim they support Caitlin Clark, and I know you've been around a lot, Big Dog, I don't think they follow the sport, because when you try to have a conversation with them, they either tell you they don't like the sport, they don't follow the sport, and they can't talk about the sport. So the reality is, every Angel fan I know supports the other teams in the league and supports other players in the league. But if these people are not supporting the league, who gives a F about them? That's my opinion.
Right. Let's let Jonathan go. He's at work. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hey, Toni.
But you the man. Big Dog.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Okay, so my thing is, I was gonna say was, I'm glad that these guys who was glazing Caitlin finally saw the BS.
Yeah.
Although I still don't like that Dan Dakich guy.
Yeah.
But I can give him credit. I can give him credit for on his take on Caitlin's behavior.
Right.
She shouldn't be going around fighting and yelling at refs every time she doesn't get a call her way. Like, these players barely touches her. They're not really knocking her down. She shouldn't be crying for calls when they play good physical defense on her. And she shouldn't be disrespecting Coach Stephanie White.
Of course.
Yeah. But because of her little cult fan base hyping her up and allowing that, giving her the privilege to do all that, she feels the need to do all the time. It's almost like she feels like it's her league, because majority of her fan base thinks they are taking over. And it's like, give Caitlin whatever she wants, let her do what she wants, get the people to help her get to a championship, right. And then bam. Now a lot of players claim that the black players want to the Indiana got all these black players, they want to play with Caitlin. But Indiana got the money. And they keep the lack of vision dude, the Tilla La Vision dude. He's saying they be bringing all these good players in Indiana, trying to make them look better without Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you want from Indiana? What do you want from Stephanie White? What do you want from Amber Cox? They're trying to help her get to a championship, right? Y'all want to see her with a championship.
Right.
I mean, make up a mind. Stop crying on what the front office is doing. At least they're not doing the BS moves that Chicago Sky is doing. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think for all those players, those great players they had last season, majority left because of Caitlin Clark and her fan base. Um, they was getting held back from their flourishing due to Caitlin Clark's fan base. I think none of them were being appreciated in Indiana because the focus was too much on Caitlin Clark and the fan base that just took over clogged up the whole stadium.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
But
Guys, send some super chats down there. Super chats.
Now, when the Fever lose, the fingers point at the other players except for Caitlin. You know what I'm saying? And it grows very tiresome, like very tiresome. Like, the lack of accountability because like I said, I watch a lot of videos and they're just known to not hold themselves accountable. So Caitlin not being held accountable is no surprise. The CC content creators, they try, they don't defended her. They put up with her attitude. They know they try to come up with every BS excuse and move the goalposts to defend her to the point that it's gotten tired for some of them. Jason is kind of up and down. First it's like Clark is full Brad and all that, but then he's like, Stephanie White ain't bringing up, building up a place to get Caitlin going, and you got Dan Dackett, she keeping it real the whole time, and you know what I'm saying. And it's only a matter of time until a few more of these Caitlin Clark Glazers come to the senses as well and be like, you know what, she is spoiled. She cries, she flops, she barely gets hit in the head and she falls for a fall. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think it was one referee she got in the face when she got into it during the Fever and Dream game. She was going off on the referee to the point the referee said, "Get out of my face." One of the content creators, he's not a CC content creator. He's an WNBA creator. He's a basketball realist, and he said he's not a good lip reader. But when he saw him and Caitlin going after that female referee, I think he read the lips referee. He read the referee lips telling Caitlin, "Get out of my face."
Yeah.
And because Caitlin cussed her out, and then ref cussed her back out. So I know the clock is gonna come after the ref because of that. Like Caitlin can attack anybody she wants, and the Clarkies love it. But when they decide to fire back at her, the Clarkies are ready to go on a full.
Yeah, they don't take any ownership. It's always someone else's fault.
Exactly. Like how many times we're gonna keep seeing that? Like it's really ruining the league. They think Caitlin is bringing eyes to the league, or they think that what Caitlin's doing is helping it build up the league. It's not. It's destroying the league.
And I think that's why these big shots have started criticizing her because they realize you're hurting the league, not helping the league. Well, go ahead, Jonathan. Well, Jonathan, it's interesting what you said, and we hate going back to this, but unless you remind people forget. But you brought up a great point as far as when they play well, she gets all the credit, and when they don't, she doesn't. Because even if you go back to her rookie season, she started off very poorly in her rookie season.
Yeah.
And that was because they were trying to have her run the show. And then when they kind of let Kelsey Mitchell in Boston run the offense through there, the team started to play better, but she got all the credit for all the wins. And then when the team started to play well at the end, it was Kelsey Mitchell in Boston that was really playing well, not her. She did have a stretch where she played well, but with Caitlin, it's hard to determine how well she plays by stats, because if you actually watch the games, she gets a lot of her stats in garbage time. Right? Like even the last game they played, they took her out with the last minute, but she was in the game up until the last minute. And I'm like, why is she in the game? You took out all your other starters, but you left her in the game. Why? It's like they're always stat padding with her. Like, I don't like it. Like, if you have a 20-point lead, most coaches are going to take you out at the 5-minute mark, 7-minute mark, or the fourth. you know, in the fourth quarter, but they'll keep that girl into the end of the game if they can. It's really weird. And then when she missed all those games for whatever, she's injured, White didn't want her to play, she didn't want to play, who knows, right? The team actually was one healthy Kelsey Mitchell from the finals, which they would have probably beat Phoenix, or one bad call against AB, which they'd probably beat Phoenix. But then you come into this year and they claim she's the MVP candidate. Like, whoa, wait a minute.
It starts all over. The regime starts all over with that, right? It's a no win.
And I think the flopping, and I think the flopping.
Hold on. Let me say something.
Go ahead, John.
It's fun. I'm glad you brought that up because last year, remember that they gave her the most national televised games last year. Right. Now all 44 of their games are nationally televised. How many national televised games that Asia Wilson and Stu York,
like 30 something, right? Versus 44, right?
Yeah, 30 something.
Ain't that quite disrespectful to the women who actually won something versus the girl who didn't win nothing?
We say it all the time.
I'm gonna tell y'all about. I'm gonna tell y'all this. God don't like ugly. When you putting all your your hard-earned effort since you was a kid to be where you at this far, only to have your moments being ignored by some girl who can shoot a three downtown, and then being accused of hating her because she's supposedly some straight Caucasian female and all that. Like, and knowing that you just only want to call out what's wrong, what's going on, and because that's the type of stuff that makes me want to like abandon area of sports. Like ESPN, Sports Center, they lost. I stopped watching them because
they've already lost a lot of money. What I want to do, guys, I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to finish up this video here so that way we can get the rest of the context of this video.
Sure, go ahead.
Let's see. There we go.
The Indiana Fever's front office truly feels about Caitlin Clark. This is Lynn Dunn. This is Kelly Crosskoff, Amber Cox, Stephanie White, the whole assistant staff. This is how the organization feels about her. She has to get out of there immediately.
The system's great. The star is a pain in the ass.
So we're saying that she needs to leave because of
and they haven't won enough with the star. He mentions Michael Jordan, he mentions Bird, he mentions Magic, he mentions the Jackson 5. All those won at incredible levels with those guys. The Fever haven't won shit. Nothing, zero, zip, not one thing with Caitlin Clark. A little bit different. Not a system. The system is great. Like, I don't get this shit off of a bathroom wall and take a piss and say, you know what? Caitlin Clark's a diva. I talk to people inside the organization. I got people everywhere. I do. I mean, you can make fun of me, whatever, but I do.
That's Lynn Dunn talking, y'all. That is Lynn Dunn talking to you directly. That is Lynn Dunn talking to you directly. Just know that. Just know that. He also went on to say Stephanie White's one of the brilliant, the smartest people ever in basketball. All while saying, well, Caitlin Clark hasn't won anything. Stephanie White has never won anything. She's clinging on to being an assistant for a championship team. She ain't never won nothing. At Vanderbilt, she was awful. So many players quit. They had to cancel the damn season. She was that trash. They never won in Connecticut. Alyssa Thomas, I'll put it out on the live. Alyssa Thomas was snatching a clipboard from her in big games. This is Lynn Dunn talking to you about Caitlin Clark, guys. Don't be fooled. This is Lynn Dunn in the Indiana Fever front office's mouthpiece. They are talking to you about Caitlin Clark directly and letting it be known what they truly feel about her. She's a diva. She's a menace. She hasn't won. We better without her. All of this stuff. This is how they truly feel about her. And this is why Caitlin Clark has to get the hell out of Indiana. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Just keep the vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel.
Here's where I'm at.
Can I say something about that? Go ahead.
Go ahead, real quick. No, I'll let you go and then I'll finish it off because then after I finish off, we're gonna get out of here. I've been on here for 3 hours. Go ahead. Get it.
Okay. So I don't understand this. You know, Indiana was everyone's favorite city when they drafted Clark, and you know, they had all their merchandise. They even went from getting their merchandise, supporting the Fever because of Clark getting all the glory and everything, all the way to Caitlin Clark getting exposed on defense with very easily, not hitting her shots, hurting the team's winning chances of winning. You know, so all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark needs to be traded. Caitlin, now they want Caitlin Clark traded to another team now.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all something. With all the BS, and I want you to answer this too, MSL, with all the BS that's going on with that crazy girl and her crazy fan base, you think any WNBA team want her? Because I damn sure don't want her here in Houston. What's y'all?
No, I don't know. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
She would never come to Houston, Jay.
But I think part of the problem.
God, I hope not.
No, I think
because
part of the. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, Jay.
All I was gonna say is if I had to deal with her fan base in Houston, y'all see me on the news.
Her fan base not coming to Houston, and I'm gonna say it. It's too black. It's too hood. It's too much of what they want for her. She's not coming to Houston.
But John, I'm going to say something that I say all the time. I think they're going to sound like a contradiction, but I'll explain how it works. I think most of her fans are casuals, the way KSAP would always say in 2024 and somewhat in 2025 they were casuals. However, because they have these paid presenters, creators, whatever you want to call them, the media uses them as Caitlin Clark fans or fan base because they pick up on anything that they say. You notice Mick Talk Hoops will be on TV discussing stuff, and Adrian Ross or the Italian girl with the blonde hair, whatever her name is, Barbara Bella, whatever, they all, like, all these people are quote unquote the ops. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them come straight from PR companies that are funded by Nike or the WNBA or whoever. It's just really weird. But there's no voice that speaks for Asia Wilson. There's no voice that speaks for Angel Reese. There's no voice that speaks for Paige Beckers, but there's a voice that speaks for Caitlin Clark. But here's why I always say that, here's why I say these people aren't fans. Because, and I'm sure you've had the same experience, Jonathan, anytime we run into these people on the internet and we try to have a basketball discussion, they don't know a damn thing about Clark. They don't know a damn thing about the WNBA. They don't know a damn thing about the team. All they can do is give you slogans. Oh, she did this assist. She averaged this. She did this. She did this. She did that. It almost sounds like there's someone controlling all this stuff, and they just send it out. And they just send it out because you can never have a basket. And what I always say is your internet fans, the fans who are all up in YouTube and all this stuff, they should be your most knowledgeable fans. But they're not. They don't know anything about her game. And where I think a lot of her fans come from is they got caught up in right-wing conservative, whether it's Fox or Outkick or Barstool and things like that. They see the little idiot, they see the little idiots. Right, they see the little idiot videos that are posted, and they talk about the WNBA, but they don't follow the WNBA. A lot of them don't like the WNBA, and they don't know, and they try to compare it to what they know of the NBA. But there are a lot of things about the NBA and the WNBA that are not the same. Some things are, but a lot of things aren't. And one of the things that's not the same, the women don't average as much as the men, both points and rebounds. So you can't take what happens to the WNBA and try to translate it to the WNBA. And also, there are only 180 players in the WNBA. There's over 500 in the NBA. So you have specialists in the NBA, people who can shoot and play no defense. And guess what? Those people play 20, 25 minutes a game unless it's a bad team and they're desperate. But if it's a good team, they play 15, 20, 25 minutes a game. But in the WNBA, because you only have 180 players, most of the best players are fundamentally sound and also play good defense and have a high basketball IQ. If they do not, we usually don't call them superstars, and or they don't play as much. Now, Sabrina is like a quote unquote superstar who may have some holes in her game, right? And some people don't see Sabrina like that, but there aren't many. But most of the players, they're fundamentally sound. They play defense and they have high basketball IQ. Caitlin Clark does not. She's not fundamentally sound because her handles are not. There are a lot of things she can't do with her handles. She's a streaky shooter. She's an inefficient shooter. She can't play the half court offense, which means she can't see the court. Most of her assists come from motion, either in the fast break or dribbling around the court like an idiot until somebody cuts to the basket and then she passed to them. But so that's from ball usage, from holding on to the ball. But she couldn't be one of those players who plays an motion offense where the ball is supposed to move, and then as soon as the player cuts open, boom, she gets them to pass. As soon as they flash open, boom, they get them to pass. Like, she's not that type of passer. She almost looks like a 1950s player to me when I watch her, right? She's not explosive. She kind of meanders around the court. She kind of looks like Bob Cousy with hair, waiting for somebody to cut to the basket, but it doesn't look like modern basketball to me, right?
She probably is Bob Cousy.
Right, but once you slow the game down, her game is trash. That's where Kelsey Mitchell comes in. That's where Leah Boston comes in, and some of the other players come in, because in a half-court offense that's not up and down, it's Mitchell and Boston, particularly Mitchell, that's going to win you that game, not Cece, because Cece can shoot you out of the game. And if they don't fix their defense, they're going to keep going at her. So to answer your question, Jonathan, I think it was like what do they call a perfect storm? It was her horrendous defense. You can't say someone's the best player when eyes light up like a couple of hyenas in the Serengeti when they see a wounded animal, laying in the sawgrass. Yeah. Like, they were frothing at the mouth over her. That there's one, the flopping. The fact that the fans in the stands do not like her, they do not like her. Like, unless you're one of those fans that are just glazing, like if they see the flopping. So when you do that to Tiffany Hayes, right? Them people in San Francisco, they wasn't having it. They was not having it. The fans in Portland were not having it. So they must be sitting around, Jonathan, saying, God damn, our little golden goose ain't so golden no more.
Right.
And
here's where I'm gonna cut this, right? Here's where I'm gonna cut this, because if I get a little bit further on, we're gonna be on here for another hour or so. I do have to take a break because I'm going on at 2 with on Full Court Trio. So I need to get me some breakfast. I haven't even had breakfast. It's past lunch, it's brunch. And here we are.
Funny, I just ate some pizza.
Yeah, so I gotta go fill my tummy and get some fluids in me. But this here, we're gonna come with a part 2, but of course it'll be labeled something else. And of course, MSL is my co-host on this one. So I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna send you an email, MSL, when we can come back up on this one, because this here is a topic that is so broad and so much to cover that we're going to make this probably a couple episodes, because it's very intense. It's something that we have to talk about. It's something that we do need to push out. It's something that for the people that don't know or are blind to, will also have an opportunity to come back and look at this from the playback standpoint if they didn't come in. Guys, before you head out, make sure you hit the like button. I'm looking at who all was in here throughout the entire time for the whole 3 hours or so. And we're not getting hitting that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up and also become a subscriber of the channel. Please sub up, hit the like button. I appreciate you all for coming in here. MSL, we're definitely going to come back to this. So make sure you keep your notes where we left off, because I might have have your I know where we left off, but just in case, so we can kind of converse a little bit and make sure we know
from what I was saying to you before, And what I know we tried to get on the other day and we didn't. And what we discussed today, was it what I said it was, as far as there's a whole lot of stuff going on that we need to flesh out?
Absolutely. It is definitely so. We need to flush it out, because if we don't, it continues, right?
Exactly.
That's why you have the platforms, and the platforms have to actually tell the utmost truth about,
and then other people pick up on it, and it gets passed around until it becomes something that's in the zeitgeist, and they have to deal with it.
Right. Let me get the money. Oh, where we at? Let's get the money. Slide down, slide up, slide down. Where you at? There you go. Thank you so much. Live, laugh, love. I appreciate you. Yes, I got to get something to eat, because I got to call Keisha before we jump on, and I got to use so basically I only have like a 15-minute window.
Sorry, Toni.
No. This is perfect, guys. I want y'all to make sure y'all give it up for MSL, because MSL absolutely rocked it today. That's why I brought him up, because this here, I know he had a lot to say right after the game, and of course we couldn't get to it, but this is the space and the place. What I'm going to do is I'll try to bring most of my recaps to my channel. I'll give a little soliloquy on the game channel, but then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to fully break it down like this, right? So then we have our moments where we talk about the game, and then we get into the absolute deep dive into what is actually going on within the league that we're able to pull up, scrounge up, and see, right? I'm not embedded in the league like I used to, but I can still get some information. At the same time, Google is your friend. The web is your friend. You get to X, Threads, you hit them all, right? The information is there. And a lot of times you just Google it, it's there, right? You just got to do your research. And if there's something that you guys would prefer that I also talk about, also by all means, just go ahead and send it to me. You can send it to my DM, or you can send it to my email. We'll pull it up. I need to create a different space for my emails, because it's in with my regular emails. So I need to create a different space for my emails. But in the meantime, if you send me something and I didn't get to it, definitely let me know. And let me know where you sent it, so that way I can pull it up. Okay. But absolutely thank you, MSL. You've been like A1 today, right on point. I mean, the videos, we have a lot more to show you guys. So this is going to be a part 2. So when I put it up, I'm going to say part 2 to whatever the topic is. And so you guys will know exactly what that is. Toni is genuine. Yes, I extremely try to be genuine across the board. I'm for all players, but one of the things that we want to do is it takes us to start spilling exactly what's going on versus just being quiet and just, hey, we're Angel fans. We're going to cover Angel. We're going to cover the team she's on. We're going to cover some of the other players that we like. And then we're going to be quiet on the level of what we really truly should be putting out here. That has to come out. And that's where Women's Hoop Talk Facts truly comes into play, and we're able to get to that space.
And I think if I can say one thing, Toni, and I know everyone in the chat feels the same way. I think one thing about Angel fans is we will critique her and we will critique the team, but it doesn't mean that we've given up on her or the team. We just have to call it. We just have to call it the way we see it. Of course, things can turn around tonight. The game 10, game 11, game 15. We all know that they can have a team meeting. So Smesco can sit down with Angel, Jordan Canada, whoever. We know all those things can happen. But now that y'all see everything that was going on in the community, like I've heard people say that once your Angel's on your team, this is part of your fight, whether that's true or not. So without even knowing that all this stuff was going on, Ryan and Leash and the others should have been hyped up. But knowing that they were ready to push this girl off a cliff, they were ready to push her off a cliff, and now you give her life for another few days, few weeks, whatever. It all depends on how she does. And if they keep abusing her on defense and she's still, crapping on offense and the team is not that great. That remains to be seen. We won't know. But the Dream had a chance to put their stamp on her and the team, and they did not. So guess what? People going to talk about it, especially the way they laid that egg. So we'll see what happens tonight. So now on paper, you got a tougher opponent. Right? You got a tougher opponent when you had a team with a bunch of power forwards that shouldn't be playing power forward, but now you got some real bigs in Kiki and Shakira. We'll see what happens with Betts and Cody. I mean, good luck. So you better play team ball in this game, because if you're not, you're going to get beat up the whole game.
Absolutely.
You have to earn that money. You're going to play.
Exactly. And we'll come back to that other. Yeah. We'll come back to that other article too. I mean, there's so many articles, guys.
Where the FIBA just want to run up and down the court. I mean, now you're going to play bully ball.
Yeah. All right, guys. MSL, thank you so much.
Thank you, Toni. Thank you. You're the queen, Toni. You are the queen.
I know. Tika Miller's like, go eat, Toni. Yes, thank you. I got to go eat before I pass out. I was just drinking some strawberry juice and with some vitamins in it, and that's not enough, but I got to go eat. Thank you, MSL, once again. Thank you, chat. Also, chat, I appreciate you. I appreciate the love and support. You guys got my back. I see you in there rocking in the comments. I see you taking care of the trolls. I see you making sure that those that come in and want to spill a different narrative, you're actually giving them the feed that they really need, which is, hey, what you're saying isn't true, right? This is what it is versus what the narrative they want to bring. But I do appreciate you guys so much. Let me get off here. Join us on Full Court Trio at 2:00. That's literally in about 20 minutes, 22 minutes. I'll see you all in just a bit. And with that being said, I bid you all adieu. I'll catch you on the next rebound.